Hey,
Huh? Oh, hey.
you're the Kool-Aid guy.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Just waiting.
For what?
I'm just waiting, dude. Relax.
Hey,
Is there any place around here that sells batteries? Guys, don't distract me, all right? I gotta really be up.
so there's no organs or glands or anything, right? It's just a liquid?
Yeah, it's just a liquid.
I don't know if this is a weird question, but can I have some?
All right, fine. Tilt your head back and I'll lean my liquid down into your mouth.
Oh, now I don't want it.
Oh, crap. Did I miss it?
Wake up.
Well, well, I think I'm alive.
Welcome to the Insomniac Comic Book Theater.
Well. It appears the googly eyes in the sky had just enough. Let there be light, my friends. Let there be light. Why? Because we got another video banned. Yeah. Add it to the list. Add it to the list. Add it to the list of all my infamous little schemes. And I'm still number one. I'm still number one in the amount of videos banned on YouTube. I think I have a record. I think I deserve an award. But no CBC award for me. No CBC award for me. I should have the record. I should have the CBC award for the most videos taken down, the most bad stuff. But no. And that's why we do it live, so people know, and there's an imprinted record of everybody's in their minds knowing that we're live, and it gets shut down.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. And thing sucks. 5, 4, 3.
Well, that's what happens when we do things live, my friend. That is what happens. And just because, by the way, I know we already got a copyright strike for my intro music today on this video. Let's see how many more we can get by the time this video is over and see how well it goes. Hello, my friends. Hello, Evil. How are you, my friend? How is my satanic friend doing? Beefit, thank you for watching part 2 of this thing we're doing. Irish, how are you, my friend? Yeah. Well, now that you're here, the D list is complete, my friend. Now that you're here, the D list is complete. And Bueller, my friend, how are you doing today? How's Mr. Bueller doing today? Did you get a chance to see my beautiful video that was taken down already? I hope you did. I hope you did get a chance to see it. If everybody doesn't know what we're doing, I just put in the link for actual Dracula's video that we're promoting to get to gazillions. I'll talk about that more in this video a little later on, and I'll keep throwing in that link as it goes on. If anybody wants to jump in for this, what are we going to call this? Is this a hangout? Is this a community chat? Is it, I don't know what? Whatever it is, you're more than welcome to jumping in. I can't promise I'll let you pass the back room. But here's the link. You could jump in, you could jump out, you could do whatever the hell you want. Why? Because this is Insomniac Comic Book Theater, and we do Journey's rules here. Yes, we do Journey's rules. We don't comply to Google algorithms. We don't comply to the googly eyes in the sky. We just do what we want to do and ask for forgiveness later. That's how it works. Okay. That being said, I hope that many of you got the opportunity to see a really, really nice video of Cyndi Lauper singing Goonies, the Goonies theme song. You know? Goonies are good enough. Yeah, I was trying to share that with the community, but yet the googly eyes did not like that. They did not like that. Anyway, I got into it. I got a little. I'm a little perturbed. But let's regroup now. Why are we having a live stream today? Why are we having a live stream? Well, first of all, let me introduce my co-host, Kool-Aid Man. Kool-Aid, say hello to the audience. Oh yeah. All right. Enough. Don't be a freaking prima donna. I told you one quick hello. That's it. And we have a little fake Spider-Man, Ben Riley over here, and we have Pez Head Dracula. Dracula, can I have some Pez? Oh, you can have a Pez. Oh, thank you. Yum. Enjoy your Pez. Thank you very much. Delicious. Lemon Pez. Can't go wrong with that. Looks like somebody's lurking in the background. Who the hell is this? Well, hello there.
What's up, everybody?
Good evening, Evil One.
Can you hear me all right?
It's been quite some time since you've been on the Insomniac.
It has.
It feels like good old days. You belong
How you
on this
doing?
channel.
Do what?
You belong here.
It has been a while. It's been a while.
Well, for everybody that doesn't know Evil, I think everybody does know Evil, right? You all know Evil. I'm assuming you all know Evil, the evil one. He used to be a staple here on this channel. When I first started streaming live, he was my first and probably my only guest for many videos.
Your first antagonizer?
For many videos. I used to look forward to having you on the videos.
Yeah, we had good times.
Very, very good times. And hopefully we could bring back the good times more consistently. What you got back there? What the hell is that?
That's Hot Wheels. I'm fixing my camera.
How many freaking Hot Wheels do you have?
Not enough. Here, not so many. Let me see if I can... fuck, weird-ass camera. Right now I got like, I don't know. It's just a weird mix. There's Barbies, X-Men, James Bond, Star Wars, Star Trek.
Holy shit, that's a lot of Hot Wheels.
I pick them up when I see them, you know, they're like God.
Hello, Shop. Hello, Trev.
What's up, there?
Shop. We saw Shop's face today on his video. If you haven't seen it yet, go and look. He's not ugly.
What's up, you?
Surprisingly, he's not an ugly dude. And he did his 200 giveaway, blah blah blah. Go watch it and see if you won or not, and then comment on his handsome face. Then we got Trev over here as well. If you didn't know, he is the shipping guru. Yeah, that's his thing. We have Bueller. We have Bueller on the chat, which is nice to see. Nice to see fellow A-listers joining me on my chat. Every time I see more and more A-listers joining me, it makes it fills my heart. Unlike cute Irish freaking.
It's always a cool thing when the big guys talk to us or when they show up, or you know, it's a good feeling. They're still one of us, kind of thing.
Speak for yourself, man. I'm an A+ lister. I'm the Marlon Brando. I've said this already. I'm the Marlon Brando of the comic community. Everybody should be flocking to my channel. That's how it works. You know, that's why I want you here. You know, I need you know, a fellow A-lister on here.
A-lister, get out of here.
Yeah, man, you're the evil one. You do it bad. Give us a good bad.
It was a bad, and there you go.
No, you haven't been in a while. We've been getting into a lot of topics late. We got into the whole influencer thing. I'd love to hear your take on it because I haven't heard you talk about it at all.
Actually, I don't have a big take on it because I don't really like follow that part of the comic book community. Like, first off, like I don't do Whatnot at all. I haven't even like gotten on the app, but it's really because I don't buy comics online like that. It's nothing against Whatnot or whatever, but usually when I buy comics online, it's eBay or like a specific shop or something like that. But
perfect. You said that. Perfect. You said eBay. By the way,
I saw that they start theirs.
Bueller, if you're up to it and you want to jump in on this conversation, you're more than welcome to join me. I know that you agreed to do this at a future time. I don't want to put you on the spot, but. Evil. No, you buy stuff on eBay. You've bought stuff on eBay. You have intention of possibly buying again on eBay, right?
Yeah, I do.
If you went and looked at a listing on eBay of something that was grossly overpriced, okay, and you were in a drunken bender and you ended up buying that thing because you're drunk and you're a moron.
It has
cases, right? Is that your fault or is it the eBay seller's fault?
No, I think it's my fault. I've done that before. I've done that whole drunken binge thing, and I woke up specifically one time I wore it like in my 20s. I wore it like, I want to say it was like around the time, it wasn't even eBay, but it was one of those type of services right before eBay. I can't remember. But I did have a night where I bought like 5 or 6 really expensive things, and I didn't see any invoices or anything. I remember receiving it, and I was like, oh shit, and I had to go like backtrack. It might have been eBay. But no, I've done that, and that's my fault. It's not the seller's fault. How could it be the seller's fault?
Thank you. You know, that's answer. It's a lot. That's how I feel. I've done it too.
In that situation.
Now, what's the difference?
I don't know. Like, as far as like I've heard some of the stories about Whatnot and the influence. We're all influencers, right? Every time I do a review, that's what I'm doing. You know, I'm trying to get the word out on that book. You know, I liked it, but I don't always do books I like. I have shit on books that I didn't like. You know, I give the truth. It's just right now I have to be more picky and choosy with the reviews. But that's part of the reason I haven't been online. It's the connection here in Colorado. It's horrible. I got 5G, and I always got that. I always got that circle, like it's loading or whatever. Today has just been a really good day where I've been able to like not hop online, but be in the chat, and it actually hasn't been lagging. So I don't know. Maybe it's the snow. I don't know.
Maybe it was just the timing, and you knew that it was the witching hour, and now what's going on, and the connection to help you out with that. We will look at your ass, Kyle. Everybody, take a good look at Kyle's ass. He wants to share with you.
No, but that was like, okay, Whatnot dropped their first comics. Their first one was Alpha Beats, and the second one was Ninja Funk. As far as the stores, I don't know about if they've dropped any as far as at conventions or stuff like that.
Well,
But
they're going to do a full blown. They're going to do a full blown publication line. That's their. That's their.
I mean,
Big
I
deal.
passed on alphabets, even though I mean it's the first time, the first book from a publisher. If it gets big, it's always bigger in the future or whatever. But I don't really, to me, it's all about the appearance of the story, the cover, and the first story did not speak to me. Now, Ninja Funk, I tried to get it sold out at my store.
Honestly, I was at the convention over in NYCC. They had all that shit there. I didn't buy any of it. Why? I had no interest.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole point, right?
I just didn't have any interest. And am I going to be mad at them for overpricing it? Am I going to be mad at them selling their own comics? No.
Yeah.
If I get, I buy it. If I don't, I don't. Simple as
If
that.
anything, for me, it's the opposite. Hey, Mister. If anything, it's the opposite. I mean, especially if they're willing to try to sell that and try to get out there, that type of thing. Why would I be against what price they put on it or whatever? I mean, that doesn't mean I have to buy it. I mean, that's up to each individual. If you want to buy that, like you bought that Pooh stuff. I don't like any of that Pooh stuff. It's just I'm not a big Winnie the Pooh fan. It's just I don't like the mashups. There's nothing. It's not like I hate it or I hate the people that did it. It just doesn't speak to me. So that's why I've never gone for any of that Pooh stuff. Now they're about to do that whole Mickey Mouse mashup stuff. I'll be going hard for that. I like that kind of stuff.
Well, I'll tell you something about the Pooh stuff. I absolutely hate the Pooh stuff. Hate it.
I don't-
Hate it. When I tell you hate it, I despise it. Despise it. It would have been funny if they did it for one comic as a gimmick, and that was it. It was a one and done.
Yeah.
Okay, I could live with that. But the Pooh stuff is getting over the top ridiculous. I don't like it. I don't like Winnie the Pooh. I don't like Tigger. I don't like the little pig. I don't like any of that Pooh universe, the Pooh-verse. I don't like any of that stuff. And so the fact that they're sitting there and playing games with us with these Pooh and whatever, I don't give a crap about it. I bought the NYCC Pooh thing that they had over there. Why? Because I know people are morons. I could put it on and I could make 10, 20 bucks on it. That's why I bought it.
Yeah, I don't hate in that disregard either, because sometimes you can do that. You can buy something knowing it's going to be able to sell, and I'm not against people that do that either.
The only reason I bought it because I was at the convention and it was exclusive there. It was the only place you could get it there. I was like, you know what? People are out of their minds with this Pooh crap. Here you go. You want to buy a Pooh crap? Put it on there. I put it at the price that I bought it at, and they bid it up 20 bucks more than that. I was ecstatic about it.
Now I can say there's things
Double and triple the prices on them.
I could say there's things I didn't like from that I heard from NYCC. The thing that happened with Peach Momoko, like the whole what was that Clayton Crane thing or whatever that was with the whole
Fuck the girl.
Miles-
Wife. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I mean I didn't like all that, but I mean I wasn't there. It didn't affect me at all. Like
I'm going to tell you something. I've said this a lot of times. Nobody wants to listen. All right, I'm going to make it very clear for everybody, and this is the honest truth. By the way, before I get into that, Miss So, are you still there? Did you get that cameo of my face that I put for you yesterday at the end of the video? If you didn't, too bad, because I edited it again. But because she was crying, wanting to see my face.
I was there with the masks. I've been there every time. I think you've face dropped.
I might face drop today if the conversations get serious today with Bueller about this whole influencer thing. To be honest with you, because I don't want to make light of it. But here's the thing: I'm going to tell everybody the honest truth. I was there. Okay, I'm not bullshitting. I'm not smoking. I'm not blowing smoke up people's asses or whatever the case is. I was there. There was freaking chaos at the freaking NYCC. Not only at the signing booths, everywhere. There's a lot of freaking people there. Okay, when they were signing everything there. When they were signing there, hold on, Bueller's here. I don't want to have him holding back as I say the story. I want to make sure he was actually there, and he'll probably concur with me. Hello, Mr. Bueller.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How you been?
I've been good, man. Can't complain one bit.
All right. So I was about to get into this whole, Peach Momoko thing because I was there. You were there, right? So you could tell everybody if I'm bullshitting or if it's true what I'm about to say. I was there. I was watching everybody get all livid about staying on lines. I did see people pull out short boxes and take him to the Peach Momoko booth and take him there. However, I did speak to a couple of them that did take him there, and they said they're just going to pick them up after the show or at the end of the show or the next day, whatever the case is. They weren't meant to be signed at that time. They left him there with her so that they could get it back later. They made a side deal for her to sign other things for them, and that's how it worked. I don't think there's anything wrong with what the hell that was as far as that's concerned. So what people are getting pissed off about is people going and double dipping in the line and jumping ahead of people in line. You know who the people that were doing that is? Everybody's saying it's the influencers, it's the bullshit, it's the nerdy, is it this or that? No. You know who it was? It was the VIPs. It was the VIPs that paid $500 to get to have an exclusive VIP pass, and I could have gotten one if I wanted one, and I could have skipped a line. And they all had a feeling of entitlement that they paid that much money to jump the lines. And you know what? If I paid that much money, I would feel that entitlement as well. So people got pissed at each other. They started getting nuts with each other. They scared the shit out of Peach Momoko. Peach Momoko was not at fault as far as that. The only thing I will put her at fault was she bid on more than she could chew. What she should have done is limit one signature per person online and possibly maybe 2 or 3 for the VIPs and end it there instead of doing 10, whatever the case is. It was way too much, and it was way too much of a problem. That's the only thing she's at fault for. Now, the people that got all riled, they're animals. So you know what? I'm a New Yorker. I know we're animals here. But you got to keep order. It's up to security to keep the right order in there and to put the right rules in place. So anybody that wants to throw finger blaming on everything, blame it on the Javits Center for not having the proper protocol and security parameters. Blame it on the system of entitlement to the VIPs. Because I promise, if I paid $500 to get all the benefits, you better believe I was going to jump every freaking line and get every signature ahead of time so I can make my money back from that $500 I paid. Simple as that. Simple as that. I think that's no. You're not allowed to call us animals. Only I'm allowed to call. I'm a New Yorker. We're allowed to call ourselves animals. You're not. How dare you?
No, I think the people situation would have happened anywhere. I don't think it was just a New York thing. I think if it would have been the same situation, Los Angeles or Houston or whatnot. I mean, people are people, and then that being as big a show as it was, and it being one of our first big shows, I think, like you said, she just bit off a little more than she was to, and it sucks in both fashions. But like,
anything wrong? Did I say anything? You were there, right?
No, because
Sorry to cut you off, but I'm a little bit lit up about it because I don't know why we're still talking about this 3 weeks later. It's a little nuts. 3 or 4 weeks, whatever the hell it is.
When that went down, and obviously I was there, you were there as well. Let's just take a minute and just describe that section of the con and how it was laid out. Like there was one escalator that goes down, single lane that goes down, and one escalator that goes up, and she's literally right in the very front of the booth when you go down in that little area where she was at. It was slammed. It was totally packed the whole time. You couldn't breathe at all in that first section right where she was at. She should have been in a different section to make the line a little bit easier to maneuver. They just had poor planning all around, and from what I understand, she wasn't having a limit at all on stuff. And that's something. Her handlers have to fix that. She can't. Her handlers did not handle that well. They need to have a limit. Maybe one free and then 2 other ones. And I like when people sign on the. I've noticed a lot of people will sign stuff if you have it personalized, and they'll sign as many as you want. So if you have it signed 2 Bueller or 2 Mike or 2, whoever, they'll sign more because they know you're not reselling them because you're getting them personalized and stuff. I think they should do that. But like, she had no limit, and she was literally right in the front, and it was just getting bombarded the whole time. The whole time, it was just bombarded with people coming down and into this area, and just lines just mixing together, just left and right. I mean, it was a lose-lose situation for her.
I can't believe I'm such an artist that she didn't have a limit, and I heard that she was doing remarks, and it's kind of ridiculous, especially for the con not setting that up. Her being one of Marvel's top artists, because every big artist that I've ever gone, it's always been 2 or 3 signatures at the most, and then it's on to the next person. You might get a handshake, a smile, a hey, what's your name, and it's on to the next person type thing.
Well, actually, there was supposed to be a limit. There was a limit that was in place of 10 signature per person, and I believe 1 remark per person. It's still a lot.
Yeah.
Even with that huge amount that she allowed as parameters, she still went over. I know a couple people that were waiting on the beginning line. They got more than 10 signatures, and she did it no problem.
She just did an interview like last week. Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't actually.
There was a comic book kayfabe or something like that. I can't remember the channel, but her and her husband did an interview, and they talked quite a bit about it. And I thought it was pretty interesting that she doesn't speak a lot of English, but her husband translated for her. But they literally talked about this whole subject of what happened and stuff, and she felt really bad. She actually it didn't deter her to do more. She wants to do more. So they admitted, they said they handled it badly, and they should have had things in place, and they've learned next time they'll handle it better. So,
and the fact that everybody's throwing the darts at everybody else, I don't know. I feel like I'm in the minority. I don't really have any stake in the game. I don't have any incentive. It's not like I'm the guy that's influencing 1 billion people, and I need to protect people. I think I'm just using logic. Why the hell are everybody attacking the people that are doing this for a living? Why? Because they're doing it for a living? Why? Because they're celebrities. We'll call them celebrities. Fake comic book celebrities. Is that what we're calling people? I don't get it. I don't get the whole venom and the whole attacking of everybody. And that's one of the reasons why I put up that post a couple weeks ago. And you Bueller, actually were one of the few people that actually did answer, and you did say that you would be willing to go on a panel. And I do have a couple other people that will be joining the panel. However, because of their timing, we had to wait until November to try to coordinate this, just to make sure we get a couple of substantial names together. That way, we could add some validation to this conversation. If it's just me spewing about it and it's just you and me, there's 2 opinions. I want to get a little bit of a spectrum of different opposites of the conversation to make it sound correct to everybody.
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
There's a lot of venom out there. A lot of people just wanting to hate for some reason. I don't get it either. And some are like Thorough, Keep It Thorough. He's a friend of mine, and I just hate that it seems like all his channels become just kind of a complaint thing, left and right. And I love Thorough. He's been on my channel before. We've talked. I feel bad. I'm like, it just seems like it's just a lot of like negative energy. Just
It's funny that you mentioned Thorough. It really is funny that you mentioned Thorough, because Thorough is one of the people that I have been monitoring and have been watching, and he's actually one of the YouTube personalities that I do appreciate what they bring to the table. I like his show. I like his little bit of grittier aspect. I do have a I guess a bond to him because he's another New Yorker, and not only that, he's also from Astoria too, so which makes me like even more like connected to him. But in this case, I feel like he's a little bit split. Like he's saying one thing at one point, and then the other point he's saying he's giving me two extremes and not linking them together in this conversation. It doesn't make any sense to me the way he's approaching it. It makes me feel a little bit upset because there might be some personal stake in there for him. I'm not saying that that's the case, but there might be something like that involved where there's a conflict going on, and I hope that that's not the case. But he's another person I'd like to have as part of that panel because he's so polar opposite of everybody else. I'd like to see him actually get involved.
Yeah, like I said, me and him have done shows together, and we just laughed our butts off, and just really had a great time together. And those are the memories I have of him, and just kind of enjoying what we're talking about and stuff. And now when I see him talk, it's just a total opposite. It's this different direction. Whether it's justified or not, I'm not here to judge that or whatnot. But I'm just saying, I'd much rather having a good time with someone than sitting there complaining about bad things or things are wrong. I don't know. After a while, it gets me. Just like, come on, just give people, relax and stuff, and it's not as bad. And I've made some comments to him. Like he said stuff like, oh, who whatnot pays, or whatnot and stuff, and I'm like the only actually person under a whatnot contract. Okay. As far as like a comic creator, I actually am under contract. There's like nobody else who's under contract, a legal contract. I'm actually under a contract with whatnot till February. And I've been on that. And newsflash, what did it take you to get that contract? Freaking drive a bus all over the country, right? Yeah. And that's what it is. For you to give up your life and jump in a bus and just drive all over the country. That's all it took to get a contract with them, right? Yeah, exactly. It's a very, very extreme situation that it take for me to get a contract. I'm not saying other people didn't have contracts, but I know for a fact that my contract was the longest one that they ever did. They gave me a whole year. That's because I said, I'm not doing a 3-month contract and you're wrapping my bus and stuff and having the logo on there for 3 months. It's got to be at least a year. So my contract with them is a year long. Everyone else has expired like 6 months ago. And so they're just, nobody else is on contract anymore, at least that I know of it. At least, and I'm talking about people I know who are good friends of mine who you think they're under contract. They're not. And I know for a fact.
I'm just going to pause for 1 second, Beulah. I just want to say hello to everybody who's in here. Captain Reyes, thank you for stopping by. DJ Links.
No, I mean, we didn't.
We'll get to you because you're on there. We've been ignoring you for a second. My porn bots, thank you for me everywhere I go.
We all need that, You're talking to the right people here now, bro.
Rudy, anywhere I go, the porn bots follow. There hasn't been one chat, whether it's my own stream or somebody else's stream, that porn box didn't follow me. I got my groupies. Everybody's got their own thing. I got my porn box groupies.
You made it. You got like a little, a follower.
So Naaman, I apologize, but we got into the conversation. I promise you, the conversation is going to get even more going on. As you can tell, I'm being a little bit more serious today. My face is actually being shown today. I don't do that very often, and I can't hear your voice, so unmute you so we can hear you. Naaman, we can't hear you, damn it.
Yeah, we can't hear you. We could before.
Unmute yourself, man.
Groupies.
Unmute or forever hold your peace. There you go.
Hello.
Yeah, there we go.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you're unmuted, my friend.
We got you.
Hello, Ferris Bueller. Hey, Mike.
Hey, no.
Hey, CJ, I finally get to see your face.
Yes, you finally get to see my face because you don't watch my entire videos. You could have seen my face at many other times.
Yeah, a long time.
I'm not that Insomniac.
Don't get used to it. My face is only for some certain occasions. So,
well, I'm honored. I'm honored by all this stardom right here right now. So
I've never seen your face before, and I can honestly say that's exactly what I thought it would look like.
Was it really?
I wasn't surprised. How's that? I wasn't surprised.
I was a little surprised.
Why? I'm much more handsome than my voice shows right now. I know I'm a sexy bastard. My voice doesn't really reflect my good looks, but hey, it is what it is, But this whole conversation. Do you believe after weeks after New York Con that we're still talking about this? Do you believe months after what was it C2E2 we're still talking about it? Like it's
complaining about Baltimore Con?
Well, I'm sure we will hear something sooner or later.
I enjoyed it. I loved it.
It's human nature. It's human nature. Somebody's always going to say something about something. You know why they couldn't really say?
I want to know why this year is the year to complain about cons. That's new. I mean, as far as like from this thing, because I don't remember this happening last year, where like all this influencer this and variant couple because I remember last year. I mean, I bought some NYC variant covers, and why this year has it become this huge like influencer influencing this cover or this company? Or I mean, it's been like the last couple big cons. I mean, it started with like San Diego, and it's gone on since then.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because of timing. If we weren't in the circle end of a boom market, that everything doubled and tripled in price from 2 years prior, and the comic books were stagnant, and people were still paying the same rate going forward, they wouldn't be complaining about it, because they can't complain about it, because the price is the price. But because a little thing called supply and demand, it's a very basic element of economics. If you go to economics 101 or business 101 or any type of class, one of the small elements of how the economy works and how capitalism works, it's called supply and demand. So if you have a finite amount of supply and you have a overwhelming amount of demand for that supply, guess what happens? The price goes up. And people don't like it when the price goes up. Do you like it when you pay more for gas?
No.
No. So when OPEC shuts down the oil tankers and we're not getting enough oil, guess what? We're not happy about it. And who are we going to yell at? We're yelling at OPEC. When Biden turns around and shuts down the refineries here and stops the lines from coming in here, guess what happens? We're not happy about it.
Yeah.
Same thing when it comes to, the only difference is we're talking about elements of items of necessity, like gasoline, oil, stuff like that we really need to be able to live off of, and compares to comic books, which is a pretty joke, a big joke to me, that people are getting this enraged about freaking comics. You know what I'm saying? Especially people that are looking at you from the hobby point of view. The ones that the people that are getting more enraged about it are the people that are actually the hobbyists, and not the ones that are the actual people trying to make a living out of it. Makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me. And usually I'll tell you another thing, just from this aspect. There's no joke. There's no secret. I have a Whatnot account. I've done a couple of shows. You know, I'm not a big guy. I haven't sold a lot of stuff. I got burned on it. I'm gonna turn around. And I'm gonna throw it on the big guys. It's their fault that I haven't. No, it's because people don't know me as much as them, and it's up to me to make myself known more. Simple as that. No, we should have everything. Everything has to be equal these days. Everybody has to have equal footing. Why? Is that how it works in the real world? When we all get out of college, we should all get the same accolades, because we don't. No matter who you know, it doesn't matter. We should get the same jobs.
I think it's just more people, and then more people. Since there's going to be more people are going to complain.
That's the thing. People have trained and learned to complain. You know. Well, Joe, I had to show my face after I got canceled by YouTube on the earlier stream. So I figured.
How did you get canceled?
Oh, you didn't watch it. It's your fault for not watching it.
Hey, I can catch everything, man. I can catch everything. Jeez.
Well, you know what? With me, you only can see it once. It goes live stream. You don't catch it at that point. It gets blocked or canceled. That's it.
Oh boy, you're trying to create a FOMO here. FOMO for CJ.
There is no FOMO, I promise you, because I showed on somebody else's channel, my YouTube studio, and I have more copyright strikes and block videos than anybody in this panel, in this chat, or the entire community. So if you want to pat somebody on the back for having special things, that's me. I got my special thing that's being blocked. I influence Google into canceling me. That's what my influencer power. But have you felt that you've been in any way attacked by this whole thing, or have people kind of laid off of you?
People don't really come at me too much. I think I'm almost the exception to the rule, to be honest, because I'm not. I don't sell a lot of stuff, and it's not really my bag, And even though I'm sponsored by Whatnot and everything, it's for a whole different reason. If you saw my contract on Whatnot for what I have to do, you do it as well. I'm only contracted to do one show a month. And that's all I have to do. And most times I only do a show every 2 months. They don't really care, to be honest. If I go.
I'm sure your YouTube sales below, because I don't have a Whatnot account.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing some YouTube auctions here pretty soon. I just got stuff I got to get rid of. But I mean, I hear the argument the Whatnot kind of favors bigger channels and stuff like that. And I firmly believe you get what you put into it. The people that work to get their accounts bigger, they put a lot of time and effort into it to make them that way.
Well, I don't mean to cut you off, Bueller, but let me ask you: is there anything wrong with that? If they favor somebody that has more of a presence, somebody that has a bigger following, I don't think.
Well, I don't think they do, because here's the thing. People say, "Oh, the smaller sellers, they don't care about the smaller sellers." Well, Whatnot is an app that's there to generate money. They care about every seller. They want every seller to get as much as they possibly can, because guess what? That's how they make their money. So if you say, "Oh, they only sold it for $1," Whatnot doesn't want you to sell it for $1. They want you to sell it for as much as you can, because that's how they make their money. It's all about making money for the app. So to say that they don't favor that they favor others over others, it doesn't make sense. What they favor is how much money you can get for the stuff that you're selling on there. They don't care whether you're a big seller or a small seller. They want to make sure you can get the most you possibly can, because that's how they make their money. Yeah. It doesn't do any good to have a seller that only sells stuff for $1. They don't make any money on that. They want that seller selling more stuff and making more and more money. That's how every industry works. Nobody wants you selling for the least that you can get. They want you selling for the most you can get, because that's how the app makes money. So the argument
That's
doesn't
nonsense to me. I don't know.
And it's funny you say that because at one time period they were saying everybody was saying that they were putting applications in and whatnot to become a seller and they were getting denied or not being answered or whatever the case is. Well, I'll tell everybody newsflash. I got how many freaking subscribers do I have on here? 200, I don't know, whatever. I got like nothing on here. On Instagram, I got like, I don't know, 500, 600. I don't know what the hell I have on there. I don't have a big influence. I put in my application. I got accepted. I had my onboard session all within a week.
Yeah.
All within a week. So anybody that turn around and tell me it's hard and they don't listen to you, within a week, I was in the system with approval, asking for my bank account to send me money whenever I made a sale.
Yeah.
So how is it so difficult? How are they saying that they're cherry picking or they're picking influence or whatever? They're taking whoever they feel. Maybe they think I'm a celebrity and they put me in, or you can throw that at.
The bottom line is they want as many people as possible. It doesn't matter where they come from. They want as many people as possible to either sell on the app or buy on the app. And I'm talking about across the board, not just comic books, but with every category they got. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They want more. It's volume. I mean, Facebook is measured by how many users are on Facebook. Instagram is measured by how many users on Instagram. It's no different on whatnot. They want volume. That's what they want. They want more and more and more people either buying or selling on their app. That's what it is. Because eventually, and I'll just say this, I don't have any information on this, but my theory is eventually it gets big enough they sell to a bigger company and everyone behind the curtain retires at a young age. Because a lot of times that's what happens with technology companies. They get big enough and the Amazon buys them or whatever buys them and everyone retires happy. And I don't know if that's the goal, but a lot of times with these smaller companies that start up like this, that's their end game. And then when they go and they sit there and they go, how many users do you have on your account? That's what they're looking at. That's the number. How many impressions you have? How many followers? How many sellers? How many buyers? That's what they're looking at. They're just looking at numbers. So yeah, they're going after influencers to bring people over. I mean, that's what they want. They want more and more people on there.
And I'm going to tell you guys something else. I did literally 3 shows total. 3 shows. I've had the account for about 4 months now. I've done 3 shows total on Whatnot. I've gotten about 470 followers. And I average about 20 to 30 people in the room at the time.
That's good.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's for beginner. I mean,
That's
That's
not
what
bad.
mine is. That's what mine is. I only have 400. I only have about 500 people. I've done 5 auctions in a year. This whole year, I've only done 5 auctions. I get maybe 20 or 30 people in there.
I'm sure yours are a lot more quality than mine are. They could, for mine, they come in just.
you know,
want to break my
on
ball.
YouTube, how many people you get on YouTube, Bueller?
Thousands.
Thousands?
Yeah.
Of people?
Yeah.
I probably 200 or 300.
I mean, people
Yeah,
have
a lot-
a legitimate example with a legitimate follower. He's not you or me. People, well, actually, I shouldn't count myself in there because Google blocks people from coming to my channel. Otherwise, I'd have millions. But other than that, like, when you have
music, that's all, man.
when you have a channel his size, that's actually, you have to have that. If you're not having a few hundred coming in at a time during a stream, there's something wrong going on. So he's doing exactly what he's doing, and you just said it yourself. If you pushed it harder, I'm sure you'd have 10 times the amount of following on Whatnot if you wanted to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
it's not a given. Like, I mean, I'm an example of that. I mean, here I have about 25,000 people that watch me on YouTube. Okay, as far as subscription base, I'm on Whatnot. I'm sponsored by Whatnot. I have just as many followers on Whatnot as you do. And because I don't put any time into it.
Yeah.
Based on how you put into it. It doesn't matter how many followers I have somewhere else. It's the matter of effort and time I put into it. I will sit here and tell you I don't put hardly any time into it. Like I said, I've done 5 auctions since February. That's it. I sold 175 items the whole time. That's all the effort I put into it.
And I'm going to say something else. It's practicing.
Yeah.
It's practicing your craft. I joke all the time about the look at me, the hashtag look at me movement, about how you need to be a little bit more entertaining. If you're going to be doing a video, if you're going to be on YouTube, if you're not going to be doing any of the social media, you have to be a little more entertaining. You can't just pull out a freaking comic book and say, look what I got.
You don't want to be the dull speculator.
Look what I got. I got a comic this week. Congratulations to me.
I like even my
And they just start the screen like that. Like, just like this. I guarantee you, if you scour YouTube, you'll have a ton of people doing that.
and that smug face on his face.
And that moves over and translates over to Whatnot. That translates over to Whatnot. I swear, I'm watching Whatnot people selling something. How are you selling? Be a salesman. You're selling a freaking comic. You're selling the comic, and all you're doing is you're pulling out the comic and saying, cancel.
You put your hands or face on the Whatnot.
Cancel.
I mean, it's all about personality and what you bring to the table.
You
You know,
gotta
I
sell
mean,
yourself just as much as the comics.
Yeah.
You
If you can't promote
need them.
yourself,
I'm not telling you to tap dance for other people, but don't freaking be the most boring thing on earth to watch. You're gonna come in and drop out unless you're putting banger books that are straight fire books for like low budget prices. You're not gonna get anybody to stay there. Play a little bit of music. You're allowed. There's no copyright strikes on Whatnot. You can get away with it until they do the copyright strikes. You can do whatever you want on there. Entertain yourself, and people will come in and they will freaking buy stuff from you. It's just how it is. Learn how to be a salesman or woman or sales it, whatever. You know, it's 2022. We have to include everybody. You know, so.
No, I mean, what'd you say?
The Whatnot is like you watch it one time and that's it, right? It's not like it's not in your library and just people are doing it over and over again, right?
It's an auction. That's all.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
just a one-time deal, right? It's just one-time deal.
You can do it as many times as you want. You can do it every
No, I
day.
mean, what I'm saying is that once you make that video, it's gone, right?
It's gone. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the same-
There's no way to copyright that. I mean,
it's a good situation. It gives a good option. You know what would happen before? The only reason I use it is because I would put all my excess crap that I have on eBay, that I have surplus. I have like 10 copies of this. I have 10 of this. What the hell am I gonna do with all it? I put it on eBay and it sits there because there's another 100 other freaking sellers down there selling the same exact thing at the same exact price, and you got to be lucky enough to be the one person that they knock on to buy it first. Well, at least with Whatnot, I could get the people to come in. And I could talk to them while I'm in it. I could explain to them, and maybe they'll buy it at the spot, and they want to wait a week and then not buy it. You know, that's how it works on eBay. So it's a good option for people that want to move stuff. Now, are there douchebags there? Absolutely. There's a ton of douchebags, and I've called a lot of douchebags out on Whatnot, and I will continue to do that. But you know what? You could tell a douchebag from a person that's legitimate. And all you got to do is get burned once. And the beauty of being burned in today's modern age, you got a credit card. If they screw you, dispute the charge. And now all of a sudden you're good.
You're right about that.
You know, it's not like you could just pay $100 in cash to somebody and then they ran away. You got ways to protect yourself. You know, but people want to like be pissed about stuff. You mentioned Thorough. I was watching Thorough's show. Did you see Thorough's show yesterday?
Maybe a little bit of it.
I was watching towards the tail end, and he put up a thing that Nerdy Girl had. I don't know what the hell his axe to grind with Dirty Girl is these days, but he put up a jacket that she sold on Whatnot.
Yeah.
And supposedly it sold for like $200, and some guys selling like what for $200 and selling consistently for $20-$30 on eBay. Whose fault is that? Is that her fault? Or is it the moron that bought the jacket for $200 fault? I think it's the moron's fault.
It's a moron. It's the same thing with them facsimiles when Ultimate Fallout 4 came out, and people were buying them online for like $200 because the eBay sellers were.
That's slightly different, and I'll tell you why it's slightly different. If
No,
you
that
read the
was
description
a reprint.
and they don't write that it's a reprint or a facsimile, and it's a novice person that doesn't know.
I agree, but look, it wasn't.
Description as a reprint or a facsimile. It has to. They should have at least writing. You know, if it's in the writing and the person buys it anyway, that's their fault. And the big high priced one that sold that everybody went nuts about, he actually did write in the description. Whose fault is it for not reading the description?
Yeah, exactly.
Join in.
You probably already knocking.
Looks like somebody wants to get in on here, so let me drop the link. It might be. Looks like Dracula might want to get on here.
I think
Or
people.
links.
I'm always amazed at what people will buy. To be honest, when people will buy bathwater of a porn star, or whatnot. I mean, people buy stuff like that. People will buy a candle that smells like a vagina.
Yeah.
You want to buy Jenna Jameson's ass water?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, people will buy weird things and they'll pay whatever they want to pay for them. It's like, you can only control what you start the price at. You can't control where it ends up. I tell people that. I don't control what I ask for, what it sells for. That's something that people bidding for. I don't control that. I control where it starts, not where it ends. None of us do.
Yeah.
We do not. So, I mean, I wouldn't spend a lot of money on a lot of stuff. But
And
some
they're
people
fine.
will.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Listen, everybody has the right to pay whatever they want for whatever it is. Just don't get pissed off if you have remorse after your stupidity. That's my mindset. Now, not everybody say that you're saying it wrong. You're a dick for taking. All right, let me be the dick of the world. Let me be the dick and the asshole of society because I'm just saying the things the way everybody needs to hear it. Do your due diligence. Read. Don't be a moron. Now, if somebody tries to fuck you over, like legitimately fools you by falsely telling you that something else, like if I turn around and I tell you, this Ben Riley was in Jenna Jameson's ass, and you should pay $100 for it, and it's not true, then I'm a liar. I just
You have
screwed you
a
over.
certificate of authenticity?
What's that? Yes,
You have
Yeah, I need a COA
I'll
for
make my
that.
own
Yeah,
certificate.
just get away for that one, buddy. 101.
I'll make my own certificate. If I did that, you know what? Then I am a douchebag. I did the wrong thing. But however, if I tell you the same Ben Riley stupid Spider-Man, go buy it because you're an idiot and you should pay $100 for it, and you buy it, then whose fault is it? That's my point that I'm trying to make. Do your due diligence. Whose ass was that in?
Yours. It's going online right now for $25.95.
That means that's going to go for more than Jenna Jameson's ass. How you doing, Dracula? How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
You're just in time for the conversation.
I am. Yep.
So let's hear your thoughts on it.
I know.
What do you think about the influence?
Out of line with what I'm saying.
I talked about that a bit last time I was on here, so I don't even know where to go from here.
And I will be having. I assure you, I've talked to a couple of people, and they've given me their word. And if they lie to me and never show up, I will call them out on it but I think they're genuine. That they will show up, and we will have a nice little panel about this. And it's really a good thing. It's really a good thing because all I've seen is people run different streams and shows attacking How about open platform where we leave it on both sides? Say what you got to say, and let the people determine what they go. You're never going to fool everybody. You're never going to convince everybody, and you're never going to grace yourself to the entire public. But if you say the truth and you put yourself out there, then let things lay where they lay at that point.
Well, I like that they focus.
I won't be able to open your boxes for about 2-3 weeks. I'm on travel, so I won't be able to complain about your box, man.
Who you talking about, me?
Yeah. I got a box from Dracula. You just sent it. And I'm on travel, so.
You're still traveling, Norman?
Yeah, I'll be going to Seattle, Bueller, but in coming weekend. Since you're not coming to me, I'm gonna go to you.
I don't live in Seattle.
It's not in Seattle, I imagine.
I'm in Portland.
Yeah, no, but it's just down to.
So Bueller, what are you gonna up to these days? What are you doing? Are you gonna pull that bus back out, or are you gonna still wait a couple months?
No, after Thanksgiving, I'm heading south.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to California, Arizona, Nevada. I'm gonna spend the winter down south and stuff, and hit some shop down there through California and Arizona, Nevada, and New Mexico and stuff like that. So I'll be down there for about 3 months probably.
You mean you don't want to come to Canada in January?
No, I don't. I don't want to go anywhere close. It's all about the seasons, man. Trust me, I planned it out. It's all about the seasons.
So you're staying away from New York, huh?
What's that?
You're staying away from New York. You're not coming back here anytime soon.
Well, I enjoyed New York, and here's the thing: if I'm not going to drive back to New York ever again, if I want to go to New York, I'm just going to fly there and just do that. But I tell you one thing: I like New York so much. I added something to my bucket list. I actually want to live in New York for a year.
Oh my God, you're a freaking masochist.
So eventually, I added that to my list.
Don't plan on driving. If you live in New York, get an apartment, and then everything's around you. So.
That's right. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm used to living in a small space, so I don't need much. So I mean, but yeah, I want to live in New York for about a year. I mean, I don't know when that will happen, but it's on my bucket list. I'd like to experience that because I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved the 4 days I was there. I felt like I could fit in there, no problem, and stuff, and really.
I can see why it's come to New York if you know that you're going to leave. That's good mentality. If you know that you're going to leave, it's good mentality. When you know you're stuck here.
I stayed there for 2 years and then got the fuck out. I was like, experience. I'm done. I'm out.
I'm counting down the days. I'm waiting for my kids to get grown and.
Bus, Kyle. You gonna drive your bus to Hawaii?
I'm telling you, New York. I'm telling you, 1 year might be the perfect amount of time because you're going to get right at that point where your nerves are about to get shot. You're about to break. I don't know how much your tolerance is there, but you might be right at that cusp. Maybe like, oh, now I'm going. You won't be a broken man when you leave. So it'll be good. I think if you wait 1 day after that year, you might be done.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So I mean, I definitely want to give it a shot.
Well, you know what, Lynx? You know what? I like to complain about it all the time. I do complain about it all the time. But you're right. There is no place like New York. And I will say something else. If you can make it here, it's not the Sinatra song. It's not. If you could bust your ass and you could make a living here in New York, you could do it anywhere else as a joke, other than some third world country that you have to trade sand. Other than there, you could do it anywhere. So I will say that New York has given me my life lessons where I know no matter where I go, I'm going to be able to survive. And the visit, it's nice. You come to Rockefeller Center during the Christmas time. You go watch the Rockettes. You do all that stuff, the tourist stuff. It's beautiful. It's cool. You see the architecture. You hang out at the buildings. You hang out with all the metrosexuals down in the middle of the village. You're all good. You're all good. But other than that,
all I need is a camera and a microphone, and I'll be just fine. So
who's complaining, man? Nobody's complaining. I never
complain. He just rants.
I don't rant either, man. I just say things the way they are. That's just how it is. It's just one of those things that we all don't appreciate what we have until we don't have it anymore, and that's where I am in New York right now. I know that if I left, I'd probably be not very happy. I'm so used to being here, but I'll complain until I do leave, and then probably come back again.
DJ, got your bag of sand right here. Here we go.
What the hell do you have there? What is that?
A couple of grains of sand for DJ Lynx. I don't know. That's what he wants. Apparently, he'll trade me anything for it.
He's probably talking about my sand trading in a third world country comment. That's probably why he's saying it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Think about it. Other than going in the middle of Cairo, and not Cairo, where's one of these sand places? The Sahara. You go other than in the middle of the Sahara and not knowing what to do and trading sand, you can survive. If you got New York skills, you could survive anywhere else.
Where are they trading sand at?
I don't know, man. They make things out of sand.
Probably not the Sahara.
I want to see the Whatnot and the influencers on that. Trying, hey, I got that sand. You want to trade that sand for the sand?
Yeah, if that's your hobby. Well, actually, that's kind of like something I was going to say on that. One point I wanted to make, which it was due to all the many conversations about this, and sort of what kicked it off, was that you got a lot of people saying, well, these people are ruining the hobby. In my opinion, from my perspective, I don't see that at all unless your hobby is strictly collecting convention exclusives. Yes,
Exactly.
there have been some problems there, clearly. But the hobby in general, I don't really see how anyone's ruining it, because
It's just a small part of the community.
You want to talk about it from the element of just the hobby itself? Because number one thing why I get involved with this stuff is because of the hobby.
Mhm.
I don't have LCS. I don't look to sell. I'm only getting rid of excess stuff as a freaking goof. But the thing is, it's a hobby. I wouldn't find half the shit I'm looking for if there wasn't a whatnot or an eBay or whatever. All the weird comics, all the weird obscure stuff that I like. You know how long it would take me to hunt in LCSs? There's always a place for something. Listen. Go hunt for it and find it. These are the kind of weird things I like to have in my collection. It's just these are the kind of things I do. So
I have that.
I think it helps the hobby. It helps the community.
I'll be right back.
I'm sure you can make plenty of things, Joe, out of sand. Are you familiar with Sand Bueller? I mean, with Joe.
Yeah,
he's our resident.
Sandy Joe, we call him. Yeah.
This guy is interesting. He can make anything out of anything. He's the MacGyver of the community. But
I go back a long ways. I know all these guys.
I know that you know everybody. You're the coffee guy. Everybody wants to have a cup of coffee with you and hang out.
I'm drinking tea right now.
Have a good
chalupas.
I think that was cool. I think that was code for Dom and having to take a dump.
I almost said tacos. I was like, no, it's chalupas.
But it is what it is.
But look, I was going to say something about that before with Bueller here. Look, before Bueller did the whole bus thing, does anybody remember what Bueller was promoting right before he did the bus thing? He was promoting a variant cover that he did for Scorched, I think is the comic that ties into like Checkmate or something like
Blowtorch.
That's right. I'm sorry. Blowtorch. Even the way he promoted that on his channel, it wasn't like, it's the difference in how things are like promoted and stuff like that. Like when watching your show, I think you might have spent like 30 seconds talking about that in an hour and a half show. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like you mass tried to sell your variant. It was just something very casually that you threw out there and that was it. I think that's the difference with me and some of these influencers is like once they do get one of these exclusives, like that's all they want to talk about at that point. It's like their whole, like they used to talk about movies and TV shows and stuff like that, and now all they want to do is push this one variant that they did or something like that. That's kind of like my only dilemma in that department.
And that's within their right. That's the thing. They made an exclusive. They made a variant. Of course they're going to push it. Of course they want people to know about it. Of course they don't want to buy it. Otherwise, what's the purpose of making it? If nobody buys it and they have it just to say, look at me, I made a freaking variant and I'm cool. Well, you know what? That doesn't pay your freaking bills.
It doesn't pay for anything.
Pay back. Where's what's his name? Lynx. He I don't know if he's still in here. He made a couple of exclusives himself. Is everybody going to kick him in the ass too? They throw darts at him for making it?
I'll try.
I think it's more of like a congratulations thing,
Yeah, instead of saying, you know what, good for you.
Yeah.
You had the balls to make an exclusive. Because you know what? Those people that are making these exclusives, you could sink or swim with them. Especially if you do the Marvel and the DC ones. Because you got limited runs of, you have to do a minimum of 3,000 copies or whatever copies. That's a lot of money to shell out on an artist, on a print run, on all this kind of stuff. Shipping.
Especially with some of the guys who do the exclusives, and there's pressure on them because there's another exclusive right around the corner that they're doing. And I think they do too many. And one thing I decided when I started doing exclusives, I said, I'm not going to do very many. It's going to be a special thing. I'm not going to do one every month or every 2 months. As a matter of fact, this year alone, I've only done one exclusive.
Yeah,
I gave it away. I didn't even sell it. I literally just give it away. And last year, I only did like 3 exclusives the whole year. So the pressure wasn't on me to sell the batch because I got plenty of time before the next one comes out. Now, I do have a new one coming out for Ninja Funk, believe it or not. It's supposed to come out. I don't know where it's at. And, and that's one thing like Thorough said, they give the guys with the exclusives priority. Well, I got an exclusive for Ninja Funk. I don't know where it's at, so I didn't get no priority. I got 300 copies of that book, and I don't even know where it's at. I can't sell it. Here, the book's on sale right now. I haven't even been able to show it to people yet. So, that's like my only exclusive I got this year that I'm actually selling. And I think that the fact that when you don't have a bunch right behind it, it's like, oh man, I got to sell this one because 2 weeks later I got another one, and I got another one coming. I got to push it. It's a never-ending cycle. But when you don't do that many, I think they're more special, and you got the time to take your time selling them. You don't have to sit there and just shove it down people's throats the whole time.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Comic Con, he does one every single month, at least one, right?
He does multiple a month.
Yeah, so minimum 1 to 2 a month he makes, and he puts them in his mystery boxes. Now, this guy is a freaking marketing machine. He has to market the shit out of these comics be all freaking bombastic when he's on his videos and freaking flail his arms all over the place and go nuts about it. And good for him for doing that, because it's all part of being a salesman and trying to promote his product and selling his product because he's excited about it. Because if he doesn't, he's burned. Yeah. He's completely burned. He's shelling out a lot of money every single month to not only make those exclusives, to make those custom boxes that he has for it, to do the shipping, to put the time in for the videos that he puts together, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You get it. You've done it yourself, Bueller, so you know exactly what the costs are to be able to put that. Now, multiply that multiple times a month. That's a lot of stress. Plus, he's got employees too.
And he does Marvel ones, which are just like, I don't have a ton of money to do Marvel ones by any means. I mean, because Marvel is a minimum 3,000 copies of a book, you know. And when you add in the price of the artist to get it done and all the copies, you're looking at about $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for one exclusive, you know. I can't afford to do that every other month or every month, you know. And so he's got a lot of money on the line. So he's got to, you know, promote it pretty heavy to get it. He actually pays me to promote his mystery box. He's a sponsor of the bus. He pays me to promote it. I run a commercial on my show for it and stuff, you know. But I can't put that type of money out that he does. Not even close.
I'll also give him a certain level of kudos, because you got to have a certain set of fucking balls to do that every month. Because you don't know.
These are not month by month. He's got to do this 6 to 8 months in advance. So he's putting money up 6 to 8 months in advance. It's not like he just did it last month. That's not how it works. He's paying for a book six months before it comes out, and big chunk of money and stuff like that. So I mean, it's you know, he's getting it done. I mean, he's making it work, you know. But I mean, it's not easy. It's a lot of work. He puts a lot of effort.
Especially that variant market. That is a dangerous market to go down to. Because I've only bought a handful of boxes that were compound boxes. Why? Because it's not my thing. It's not my thing to get all those new variants, all those new exclusives. It's not. Every so often he'll put something up that really, really pulls me in. I'm like, I want it just for that specific book, and whatever else crap I get in there, so be it. I want that one thing. And he gets a lot of people to buy like that. But I don't do it every month. But there's people that religiously do it every single month that buy everything from him. And good for them. That's the way they collect. Sooner or later, though, the variant market is going to fall out from under it, and the new fad is going to come in place. That's just how it works. There's always a different fad. There's always a different thing that people are getting into. You know, we're looking at all the chrome crap that everything is coming out right now, the foil covers, all this. Well, guess what? I lived through that in the 90s. That existed in the 90s. It's not like it's a new thing.
It's the 90s rewind.
Falling in and out of style. So it takes a certain level of balls to be able to do that and push it and project, like you said, 6 to 8 months ahead of time and possibly get burned. Because in this fickle market, 1 month, that's all it takes. That literally all it takes for this market to be able to flip. All it takes is something really bizarre to put a halt on everybody, and it could happen. You know? Number one, the economy. People have to have the disposable income to be able to continue to buy stuff like that. You know, and you know, the person that's going to be buying a $50 box or a $20 exclusive or $30 exclusive might say to themselves, I don't need that. I need to go buy bread and some milk and some orange juice for my kids. Maybe I'll buy the $4 copy that's in the LCS.
Yeah.
It just happens, you know. So I don't, you know, they always say don't hate the player, hate the game, but it's very true. Don't hate the people that are working within the system. If you don't like anything, change the system. Use your dollars to change the system. Don't buy things. Don't watch things if you don't enjoy them. But I have a feeling that the people that are the most animate and the most vocal about things that they hate are the ones that are actually fueling the views and watching the most and buying them.
It's always like that with bullies. It's always like that, man. Yeah, I mean, that first off, anybody that hates this stuff, and they're usually like the most vocal in the chats. They're watching every video. They're like your biggest cheerleaders. I don't get that. Like it's like they're afraid to come out that they love it, so it's like it turns into hate or some bullshit. I don't get that, and that goes as far as like bullies. That goes as far as like these people on IG, Facebook, YouTube, you know, wherever you can find people that are chatting, it's like that. But I've never gotten that part of it. Like, I think that because a lot of IG people lately have turned to hate against, like, for instance, Nerdy Girl or, you know, Comic Tom or, you know, the influencers, right? But it's like there's certain channels, and that's all they want to do is hate on it. It's like all they're doing now is watching Nerdy Girl. They're like, what's she doing now? Huh? She sneezed? Son of a bitch. No, damn, I'm reporting it. It's going up on IG. Did you see that? You know, I mean, it's like, and they want other people to get into their whatever it is going on, because it's not hate anymore. It's like super love. And it's like, they don't even see it. It's really ridiculous.
It is. I mean, everybody that has some type of pull or some type of attraction in social media or within the community, for the most part, has taken their stab at the exclusive market or variant market. Reggie just did one. He did his what's it called? I bought a couple of copies at the con. What the hell is it? Insomniac or whatever. I don't even know what the fuck I bought. I just bought a couple of them to support him, and I bought his book. He made a book about his stuff about
Reggie.
Like that's Reggie. Okay, I haven't read it yet. When I read it, I'll review it and I'll tell you what it's all about. But I went and bought it because I give the guy credit. He put the effort in. He did something. He seems like a nice guy. He's a businessman. above all else. You know, because he's putting stuff together. You could see his videos that he puts together and his content that he puts. It's done very strategically, and it's done in a way because he knows that this is going to be a business model for him to be able to get revenue in the future. And good for him. Am I going to hate him for doing that? No. If you don't like the guy, don't buy his stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
That's just it, right?
How it is.
Nobody's forcing anybody to buy anything.
You know, dude, there's a couple
act
people.
like it sometimes.
There's a couple. I'm not going to mention names because there's no
Except for
reason.
Samuel.
I'm
He's
not gonna mention names because there's no reason for me to mention at this time. But there's some people that pulled out exclusive variants that I can't stand as a human being. I just can't stand them as a human. You know what I did? I didn't buy their exclusive.
Exactly.
What else I did? I didn't talk about them. I didn't give them additional attention. Because the worst thing you could possibly do is give, if you really, really hate something or you despise somebody or whatever, is give them attention. There's no such thing. Everybody says this is like a cliche, but it's the truth. There's no such thing as bad publicity. You're talking negative about something, you can talk about, unless the person's a freaking rapist or a freaking pedophile, there's no bad publicity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you talk about negative about them, about being an influencer, you talk about this because you don't like them, you talk about positive. Either way, they're going to get attention, and by hook or by crook, they're going to end up becoming bigger, and they're going to sell more because of it. So, all you rocket scientists and your super geniuses out over there that you think you're accomplishing something by ranting and raving and try to make yourself YouTube famous by actually making videos about it. I saw some crazy hillbilly sitting and ranting and raving about like exclusive and things. I'm like, this guy doesn't even know how to put two sentences together, and he's sitting there and telling you how terrible it is. First of all, if you really want to put something constructive together, go write a script for yourself first. Put your thoughts together and actually put two sentences that are actually complete sentences without actually use comprehension in your dialogue. That way, we could understand what you have to say. And you know, it's just one of these things that I'm laughing and I'm also getting infuriated at the same time with a lot of this stuff. So my thing is, I'm going to give a platform, whether it's the good guys, whether it's the bad guys, and everybody that's in the gray area, to at least have a place to be able to put themselves out there without being attacked. You know, and the positive thing is, you're on this channel, Bueller, with us. You know, I'm not going to mince words with you. If there's something that annoys the shit out of me with you, or you're annoying me, I'm going to say it to you. You know, it's just how it is.
Well, I got to jump off. It's getting class by this time. It was a good conversation. Thanks for having me.
Mike, we got to bring back time, and you got to be out here a lot more often.
All right, buddy.
All right, we got to do this more regularly. You used to be the other part of the show. We got to make that happen again.
I'm working on it.
All right,
man.
We'll find you on there. All right, now and then there was 3. So now we're all you old bastards that know that reference, you'll know what I'm talking about. You're quiet, Dracula.
Yeah, I'm just I'm working on something.
Game Boy or something.
No, I'm drawing.
Are you busy writing the lyrics for that new song you're supposed to write about me?
That's in the works. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Is that what you're doing? Look at this freaking guy. He writes a song about the whole world. He
Oh, yeah.
drops everybody's names in the whole world, and he omits the biggest A-lister that's out there.
Yeah,
And
but
yeah,
you're gonna get your own
on my
song.
show and tell me how much you love him.
I was saving it up. I didn't want to just lump you in with everyone else. You know what I mean? You deserve kind of your own spotlight. So
You get your own verse.
Well, you mean huge like a fat bastard, or what do you mean I'm huge? Like huge in the community? That I know. I'm up there. I'm the Marlon Brando of the community. I said this already. Nobody likes me, but everybody knows me. I'm the Marlon Brando. And again, all the old bastards would know what that means.
I know what that means. Yeah.
Are you in your truck, Bueller?
Yeah, I'm in my bus. I live in this.
You're in the bus.
Yeah, I live in this thing, man.
I thought you temporarily went back home.
I don't have a home.
Didn't you
I
go
sold
back?
my home.
Home is the bus.
But I thought you went back to see family.
I am. I'm in there. Like I'm with family, but I'm not. I still.
Oh,
live
but
in
you
the
won't
bus.
go stay in there with them. You refuse. You stay in your bus.
Yeah, that's right. I've only slept out of this bus like 3 nights since February because I stayed at a hotel or whatever,
Wow.
But yeah, whenever I'm visiting somebody, they're like, "Oh, you can stay inside." I'm like, "No, this is my house out here. I'm comfortable out here. It's my bed, all my stuff and everything." So I'm down at my dad's right now. He's got a piece of property I can park out by the lake and stuff like that. So it's a nice little area. So
What is the most difficult part of living in there?
shitting in a little bucket.
Oh, you don't have a bathroom in there.
Well, no, it's a little toilet. It's a portable toilet, and yeah, that's probably it's not as glamorous as what it looks like maybe sometimes because I've had that thing. There's some issues with it, I guess you'd say. But yeah, that's probably the worst part about it is the shit bucket that I got. So whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna suck.
Yeah,
That's definitely gonna suck.
yeah. Like I had to empty it yesterday and stuff me in a car.
For some reason, I thought you had one of those built-in toilets that had like a reservoir on the bottom that they just
it takes up too much room for those, especially for a guy my size, and stuff. I'm a bigger guy, and those little bathrooms that things like these have, I don't even fit inside of them. Same thing with the shower, so I just kind of omitted it and just went with a different route.
So how do you take showers?
I go to the gym. I have a portable shower so I can fill up this thing with water and it's got a pressurized, and I can use that to take a shower here. Or I just go to the gym because I have a Planet Fitness membership and I can go anywhere in the United States. So and just take a shower. So I'll be honest, I don't shower probably as regularly as I used to when I had a house. But it's not like I'm going like a week or whatnot. You know, I go maybe a couple days and stuff.
Well, I'm sure you're not having freaking. Well, actually, you would probably be a huge hit on Tinder with your freaking with your bus. You start flaunting your bus around. You gotta have people just thinking, "What the hell is this guy? He's driving around with a bus all over the place. I gotta see what this guy's all about."
There's a lot of free spirits out there. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, and there's plenty of people who are living with, even far less than what you have. People living in like literal vans, or I've seen people living out of like pickup trucks, right? That they've converted into, living spaces.
Well, yeah, but I don't think he's looking for a chick that lives in a freaking pickup truck.
No, but there's a lot of people like doing the nomad lifestyle that are choosing. There's a difference between choosing to do it and not having the option.
That's very true.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
No, I'm talking about people that choose it. Yeah.
People that choose to do it is a different crowd. People that do it because they don't have any other option, they probably don't want to do it. There's a big difference. And mainly the people I tend to meet are the people who've chosen to live this lifestyle and they want to live this lifestyle and travel. And like I said, there's a lot of free spirits in that genre of people, I guess you'd say. So I've had a lot of fun meeting new people.
Like
pretty much all across the States. Yeah, they're not really hippies, but yeah, they would be probably a version of a hippie, I guess you'd say.
Hey, modern day hippies, they do exist. I'll say that much.
One of my favorite YouTube channels over the past couple years, actually was Tom Green's channel. Tom Green, the comedian, Canadian guy. Because a couple of years ago, he decided he was just going to live in a van and drive around the States, and he was going places that nobody goes to, right? And he'd go there and he'd film. He also has a drone. He takes amazing drone footage of places that are completely off the beaten path.
I did a lot of stuff in the desert.
Yeah.
Like ghost towns and stuff like that.
Ghost towns, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I have to check out the channel, but Tom Green is not exactly the guy I want to take my examples from.
Because he's just being himself. He's not being, like a comedian. So it's really interesting. He's a really interesting guy.
Is he still with Drew Barrymore?
No, that ended years ago. Yeah.
I think he bought a big piece of land in Canada, and he's like living on a farm or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I heard.
So what is he, like just a nomad? He's like in the middle of nowhere by himself?
Kind of.
He was just kind of driving all over the place and filming.
See, I could see that fit his personality.
Mm-hmm.
I got to check out the channel. I didn't even know he had a channel like that. I never, ever since, what was his peak?
So in the 90s, he had a show that was on
MTV.
He started with like a cable access show in Ottawa. That's where the original Tom Green show was. Then he got picked up by MTV, and he did that for a few years. And then he started doing his own talk show from his house, and he did that for, I want to say, like 10 years. And that was pretty good too, really. Like there was no other talk show like that, really. And then he started doing this YouTube thing.
He had a couple of movies too, right?
And movies, he did some movies.
Late 90s, early 2000s. I think that was his peak during that time, and then he just disappeared off.
Yeah, it was around the time
controversial.
His MTV show was on.
Did he do something like really crazy and controversial?
He always did crazy things.
Hey, Journal, how you doing? You're actually one of the people I would love to see come up here and talk about this topic. If you're up to it, you're more than willing to join it. I got the link up there. I'll throw it up again, specifically because you're so opinionated about things. I'd love to hear you talk about this. He's not going to come on. He knows he doesn't want to argue with me. But I'll put it up there anyway.
We're talking about Tom Green.
Yeah, we're talking about, at the moment, we're talking about Tom Green, but what we're talking about is influencers in general, Journal.
Influencers and life on the road.
Yeah. But if there's anybody that has opinions and has no problem just going on a tirade about it, Journal's one of them. And I whether I agree with him or I don't agree with him, I appreciate it. He's just going to put his opinion out there, and that's it. I'm under the weather, worked out all day. I would love to. They say he always finds a way to get out of it. He always finds a way. It's all right. That's all right. Sooner or later, I'm going to ambush you, and you're either going to not know I'm coming onto one of your streams or somebody's streaming. I'm going to blindside you, and we're going to get into it. Or I'll get you I'll fool you into it by telling you that it's like for some kind of like nice thing that we're putting you on the stream. We'll find a way to get you on here.
He's very logical about how he approaches things. And I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He is. He actually Again, I don't agree with everything he has to say. I definitely don't, but I do appreciate the fact that he thinks it out before he says it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big believer of we all have a right to agree to disagree, and for some reason or another, that's been lost over the past 3-4 years. Whether it's in this community or anything in general in life, like we can't disagree with you if you're animate about something for some reason, and people get the witch hunt start, and everybody starts getting nuts. You know, and this whole what's we call it influencer thing, I personally believe it's a witch hunt. It's the haves, the have-nots going after each other, smaller people with smaller agendas going after bigger people with bigger agendas, and etc. back and forth, and etc. etc. It's that kind of a thing. You know, and whether people like what I'm saying about that or not, it is true, because oftentimes you have smaller sellers that have an agenda and they're attacking the larger ones because why? Everybody wants to dethrone the king. Everybody wants to go for the top spot. And how are you going to do it? How's the easy way? Get rid of them.
Yeah, we're all coming for your crown.
Right? Get rid of them.
Yeah.
If I wanted to take all of Bueller's gazillions of viewers and subscribers or whatever the case is, what's the best way for me to do it? Defame him. Defame him. And by me defaming him and actually making YouTube videos about attacking him, guess what? I'm going to get attention, and my viewership is going to grow. And all of a sudden, we're going to have a divide. You're going to have the Journites and the Buellerites. And who's going to win at the end? You know, it sounds silly what I'm saying, right? It sounds crazy.
See, but that's the thing, though, because yeah, you might have people that are on your side and people on Bueller's side, whereas I'm not on anybody's side in any of this. Like, I'm kind of, you know. I just take in so much content on a daily basis. It's like it's far too confusing to even like
everybody should be on their own side.
You know, if there is such a thing.
Everybody should be on their own side.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm on my own side. That's it.
Watch whatever entertains you. Watch whatever makes you happy. Buy whatever makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like somebody in general, fine. You don't need to make videos ranting and raving and yelling about people that you hate. What's the purpose of it? You know, is it a politician causing corruption? Is that why you're doing the expose? Are we 2020? Is that what's happening? You know, because that's how I feel. You know, acetate gate. It's till 2020 on the comic community channel. I mean, come on, get with it. Put it out there. Say with everything. And the funny thing is, though, the biggest thing out of everything that irritates the hell out of me is when people that have no idea what the hell is happening. They weren't there. They're not fully educated on everything that's happening. Just spew their opinions. They just rant and rave. Like, I hate them. I hate them. And that's what's hurting the community. That's what's destroying the hobby, and etc. etc. You know, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. You know, I know Journal to some extent he agrees with me. You know, he definitely does agree with me on certain things. You know, as long as we're not going to get into a conversation about cameos versus first appearances, then we'll be okay. Because there can be some actual arguments there for sure. Yeah, because I am 100% right in everything I say about that, and everybody wants to use their own version and their own spin of it. A first appearance is a first appearance. What does a first appearance constitute? It constitutes a full visual of the character, a name of the character, possible dialogue of the character, clear identification of that character. If that's all in there, I don't care if it's a panel or if it's an entire book. That's the first appearance. Okay? I don't care if he's on the cover. I don't care if he's fighting in it or if he's just sitting in a chair smoking a cigarette saying, hello. You know, I'm, you know, Journey. That's my first appearance. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. That's a first appearance. And that by traditional truth, and if you read a dictionary and anybody that has a full grasp of the English dictionary and can understand definitions, that's a full appearance. That's a full first appearance. Now, what does it bring you value differently? Whatever the case is, no. But that's how it is. And for some people, they can't comprehend that. They can't comprehend that. It's an argument. It is an argument. Oh, no, see, I told you. You see
there you go.
I'm telling you, this guy's gonna journal. You're gonna make me
ask him.
I didn't take a class of law school like you did, okay? But I read a law book, and that is equivalent, okay? So because of that, I have more than enough ammunition to be able to combat you on any debate. And plus, I'm a born and bred New Yorker. I could debate with anybody about anything. That's one of our inbred type of abilities here in New York. We could debate anything. So if you ever want to debate me on this cameo first appearance thing, I have no problem.
Inbred abilities? Is that what you said? Inbred abilities?
Correct.
Okay.
That's right. Come on here and debate CJ Gambit's first appearance. Let's see what happens.
No, we got everybody. I'm surprised they said that many. Listen, Mr. Sicilian, We can have a panel. We can argue about that at any time you like. We'll do it. We'll set up on a live stream. You could go. I'll go onto your channel, so I could give you all my celebrity. And you could get my gazillions of viewers and subscribers, and they could come and visit you, and I'll make you Mr. Popular, and we'll be great. You know, I could do that for you, or you could come onto my channel, and don't worry about it. I'll still add my celebrity to you, and we'll be good. But I have no problem debating it, and you know that I will win that argument because I know what I'm talking about. Public discourse is a part of the community. We like it, etc. We like the name of the moment.
Are you saying that 12.80 is the first appearance?
It is the first full appearance. I never said that it should be worth more than 181.
I agree with you. It is.
I never said that.
See, that's an important distinction, right? First, you're not saying it's necessarily worth
value,
more, right?
Value and definition is two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it is the first full appearance of a character does not necessarily mean that it should be the higher price book. Although
because what does that mean exactly? It's
because I still think there's a disparity between the values of the two books that should be a little closer. I don't think they're going to be that far apart in value, but that's a different kind of conversation.
Yeah,
181 is the bigger book because it has the iconic cover, and it has a story that contains that character from beginning to end. That does not define it as a first full appearance. It is the second appearance of the character, not the first full appearance. The second appearance of the character, and yes, it should be worth more. But let people be clear. Red Sonja is another character. Code at 23 and 24 for years. 24 was the book that was the more expensive book. Suddenly, over the past 2 years, people woke up and said, you know what, 23 is actually the better book. Why? Because there's 16 panels that contain the character in number 23. Why was 24 the book that was the more valuable book for a long time? Because the community said so, because of the cover. I'm not going to fight that. If the public talks and they think that's worth more to them, go ahead and buy it. But don't define it as the first full appearance. It's the second appearance. I'm a stickler for that stuff. It's just how it is. Yes, 180 was the first. He agrees. No, not in Cameo. Not in Cameo.
He just had to put that in there.
He almost had you there.
Not in Cameo. There's no Cameo. He's not hidden. He's not in the shadows. He's not skulking. You don't see only his hand coming out of nowhere.
The definition of a cameo is considered an appearance of a well-established character. That's what a definition of a cameo is. If it's a well-established character, that means it would have to be appeared before that. So that's why that it doesn't work as a cameo. I don't agree with the cameo thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay. Amazing Spider-Man 298 was the first cameo appearance of Venom. Why? Because you saw the little tentacles. Right? You didn't see what it was. You just saw the little blobs and the little tentacles. You saw Eddie Brock there. Like, what the hell is this? All right, something's coming. Then the first appearance was actually in 299, where you actually see him in the last page. Venom, full. You saw his whole body. You see the costume. You see everything. He's right there. And then 300 is the money book. Why? Because the public dictated that they love that iconic cover, and it has the entire story of Venom kicking the shit out of Spider-Man, which people loved. That's why the value is there. You know, same thing with
when you originally said that the first appearance is an appearance of a character where you can identify them as who they are. I think you're right. As long as if you can identify the character by that appearance, that should be their first appearance. Like when I see a full frontal image of Wolverine on the last page of 180, that's the first appearance. I can identify that character going forward. I've seen what he looks like. I know what he looks like. I can identify him going forward. I saw his whole silhouette, the whole everything he has to offer. That's the first appearance. That's the way I look at it. You know, and whether there's a word bubble or not, there was in that one, I believe. But even, you know, as long as I can identify the character going forward in a full identification, then that's the first appearance.
And that's why I added that verbiage. Clearly defined. The character is clearly defined. You know, Batman has a lot of characters that came in cameos. Over time, they showed up. You didn't know who the hell was coming because they built it into the stories. Killer Croc is one of the top characters that showed up that way. Over numerous issues, you see him coming in from the shadows. He's wearing a trench coat. You don't know what the hell he is. You see his slimy hand, and then all of a sudden, boom! You got the big money book where he appears fully.
Yeah, I got to agree with Chris there. I agree that cameo should have never been the word to describe these things. Yeah, I think it's just confused the issue.
Yeah, cameo should only be used in cases of little blurbs, like Carnage, where you see the little symbiote like going to eat him inside the cage. Isn't that how it shows up? Like, I haven't read that book since the 90s. I think that's how it happens. In one of the comics, the symbiote gets off of Venom and goes to go and climb onto Carnage. But it doesn't happen in that issue. Oh, you see the blob go inside the cage. That's a cameo. Because you start to see the blob and you start to connect. All right, these characters are somehow going to be something. And then all of a sudden, 360, he shows up. Not 361. 360, he shows up. And he has his full story in 361. You know, again, people don't realize these things. You know,
we're just buying both.
Everybody just needs to be, and please do not encourage him, the Dracula. That's all he needs.
That's all this guy needs is a little bit of encouragement, and then he gets a big freaking head, and he's gonna say how right he is and everything. I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear it. Silence. Silence is better than anything else. If you agree with it, best not say anything. Don't inflate him. Don't inflate, because he'll go and do a whole video and tell me how much he loves that he's right and I'm wrong.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure everybody loves to do that. This is my first appearance on the chat, and I'm going forward. There you go, Comics Unlimited 666.
Or is it first cameo? How many comments did you leave?
That's very true. We need to have multiple blurbs inside this chat.
If that's your only comment, then that's just a cameo.
That does not define you as a first and full appearance. What time is it where you are, Bueller?
10:50.
What time?
10:50.
Oh, you're on the West Coast right now.
Yeah, I'm in Oregon right now.
What about you, Dracul?
Same as you. It's a 1:45, something
I
like
keep
that.
forgetting you're on the same time. I keep forgetting you're in the same time zone as me.
Yeah, we're practically neighbors.
I keep forgetting. You know what? I feel like I'm in isolation here in New York, where we always feel like we're on an island of our own.
Oh man, it's like what? It's like a 8-hour drive to you, something like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Cameo is when a character is out of original property. Example: He-Man meets Superman. I don't know if I could go by that mindset, because
okay, yeah, that actually might be a more appropriate use of the word, right? Yeah.
Well, like you guys ever
at least one appropriate definition.
But wouldn't that be a guest appearance?
Guest appearance, yeah.
You know, like just like in the cartoons. What's that, Bueller?
You seen the movie The Rundown?
Yeah.
With The Rock.
Yeah.
In that movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger's in there for like a quick second. You know, he walks by Arnold Schwarzenegger in the bar. That's a cameo right there.
Mm-hmm.
A quick appearance of an established character.
You know what I caught a bit of earlier. One of my favorite movies ever, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But speaking of cameos, that's significant because it is the only time in history that Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse have been shown together. At the same time, was Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I saw that in the theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're throughout the whole book or movie or whatever, yeah, it's guest appearance. If it's like the Schwarzenegger example that you just gave us, that's a cameo. That's definitely a cameo. Monk was a cameo for Happy Days. Oh, there was a lot of cameos in Happy Days. Just go back and watch that show. That show was chock full of cameos.
I mean, look at the old Marvel team-up books with Spider-Man in them. Spider-Man was the main character, and then they would have the character come in. They didn't call it a cameo for that guy. It was a team-up. It was an event that circulated around those characters. A cameo is a brief appearance, something really quick. You just kind of get a flash, hello, whatever you want to call it, but just a quick appearance of something. It's
like a goofy thing, like they run across each other, whatever. They used to do that in Marvel Comics all the time. That used to be like one of their staple things, especially if you go look back into the Silver Age or early Bronze. You'd see Spider-Man swinging in his own comic. All of a sudden, you run across Daredevil on a roof. They'd say a couple lines to each other and then keep moving on. That's a fun little cameo. It's a nice little thing. Or like they want to like somehow introduce some other storyline that's happening the same month, so they have the character run into the other and tell them what they're doing in order to engage the fans, so they can pick up their book later on too. So it makes a lot of sense. Again, don't encourage Poke Joe either. We don't inflate people on this channel. We do not want to tell people they're right about anything. No.
You're all wrong.
Everybody's wrong. Everybody's wrong. That's it. It's dirty rules over here. We have to agree with me, or there's something wrong. There's something wrong with society. That's how it usually works. But these are like nice little fun things, and I've seen people like getting really ill and really, really out of their minds on these arguments over cameos, over first appearances. Now you see the whole Star Wars controversy with the Star Wars 4 and 6.
The reason people get bent out of shape is because they have money invested in them.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I mean, people get bent out of shape because there's money invested in those books. If you got a person, investing thousands of dollars in a book, and the argument is, it's not the first appearance. People get upset about that because they want, they want their return on their investment and stuff.
Yeah.
Which means they have agendas.
Yeah. People don't care about first appearances of like little characters that aren't worth nothing. Not a big deal. It's the big ones that have value behind them that people get upset about. Because man, if I sit there and tell you that that's not the first appearance, and you got all your money invested in that book, and no, it is the first appearance because it's worth this much money. So they got a lot of money invested into it. Whenever you talk about people's money, people get butthurt.
Oh my God, it gets nuts. And the thing I could honestly say, a lot of books that I argue, I have all of them. So I don't care which one of the two goes up in value because I have them. The only one I don't have is the 181, and I will get it. I'm in the process of buying one. So whether it's higher or lower, I'm going to get it one way or the other. But everything else that I talk about, I have them all, and I don't care. You have the people that they talk about the giant size X-Men and how Foom number 10 is actually the first appearance. Well, for all you brainiac scientists and historians, Go look at when the film was published. It was actually published 4 months later than Giant Size X-Men. Although they say it came out first. It was actually published 4 months later. Is it a nice book to have to your collection? Yes. But it's not the book to have. It's not the first for a full appearance. Just like all the black costume Spider-Man and controversy, all that. Everybody's flipping out because other people have ASM 252. Other people have the Secret Wars 8. Other people have the Web of Spider-Man. Not the Web of the Peter Parker one. And et cetera, et cetera. They all have one of them. Well, guess what?
Just get them all.
Matter. It doesn't matter. They were within weeks of each other.
Just get them all. Don't worry about it.
That's it. It doesn't matter. They were all within weeks of each other. And if you want to get like a real freaking stickler, the continuity one was Secret Wars 8. Even though it came out later, it was a Marvel issue that problem that didn't come out earlier because of the way they were releasing the comics at the time. They were delayed. But in continuity, to understand the story and to understand the origin, you had to get Secret Wars 8. Otherwise, you got a whole bunch of Spider-Man books with black costume. Like, why does he have black costume on? You didn't even know what the hell was going on. And if you're real assholes about how first appearance of the black suit are, Marvel Age 12 was the first one he actually ever appeared with a black costume, because that was the submittal that the kid made showing the black costume that was accepted by Jim Shooter that they highlighted on that comic. So, people they want to twist things and turn them any way they want to, just agendas to make profits, to just be an asshole and like to argue about things. I don't care, but use the proper terminology and use the proper definitions when you're doing it. Because you're steering people in a way that you shouldn't be steering.
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit. I just bought what the hell does Roger Rabbit have to do with anything? Okay, pen in my hand, the royal blue, Jim Carrey and Liar Liar. Okay. I am happy to define clear. Without influence, live Without influence, live I care logically and clearly explain with common sense, and people get mad about it. I think I need a little bit more substance to that statement, please, as far as why you are making that statement.
Hey, did you have a good time at New York Comic Con?
I had a great time. Honestly, I kind of bummed out that we didn't get together. I think we were just ships going across each other over there, because every time I go to somebody, they say they just saw you. I ran into Brian at LCS. He said he was with you. I went by Reggie. He said he just saw you. Who else was it? Joe Anachronic Comics. He told me he had just seen you. I'm like, what the hell? Every time I go somewhere, I'm like 2 minutes behind.
Yeah, I wasn't there on Sunday. I left early, and then Friday I didn't get there till like 2:00 in the afternoon. And Saturday I was only there for half the day because I went exploring the city a little bit. So the only day I was like there the whole time was like Thursday.
Thursday was actually the best day to be there.
Yeah, I had a good time on Thursday.
I learned my lesson.
I had that 50-pound backpack on my back the whole day. I hadn't got a hotel yet.
Holy shit! I was carrying all this stuff, and I took a subway back. I don't know if I'll ever do that again, because I was carrying a whole bunch of crap that I bought. It was starting to get heavy. I purposely didn't buy any prints or any art pieces because I didn't want it to get damaged. I was like, I don't know. But I think Thursday is the day. If I have to give anybody any advice as far as going on a day that you're going to genuinely enjoy yourself, go on Thursday. Go on the first day of the con. When everybody has work still and a lot of people are not taking off and you want to just go and experience it, that's the day to go, because every day after it gets more and more packed. You literally, you don't enjoy it. Saturday, Friday was okay.
Yeah, Friday wasn't bad. Saturday was packed.
But Saturday is a freaking nightmare.
Yeah.
What are you going to first do there? The only thing that is good for Saturday is they do some certain premieres and shows and stuff like that and panels that you don't get to see on the other days. You right there, Bueller?
Yeah, I need to get my cough drop. Yeah, I like that. Thursday I went through Artist Alley quite a bit and tried to see.
I enjoyed that too. You know what I was really, really bummed about? You're gonna say I'm nuts. I wanted to get a picture with Elvira. I wanted to get a picture with Elvira.
Yeah. It kills me. I didn't even know she was there.
I was so bummed that she was sold out.
Well, I had her on my show a few months back.
Did you really?
Yeah, so I interviewed her on the show, and we did like an hour-long interview for her book. And we got along really well, and we talked for quite a bit afterwards. And she was like, hey, if we're ever at a con together, come out and say hi. I'd love to meet you in person. I did not realize she was there at New York. I literally did not realize she was there until I was already on the plane flying back to Oregon. And I saw a post that somebody had a picture taken with her. I'm like, son of a bitch. I would have loved to meet her and hang out with her and kind of meet her in person and stuff like that, because we hit it off really well.
What a shame.
Yeah, I had no clue she was there. That's one of my only regrets.
I had such a freaking crush on her when I was a kid. She was so freaking hot. And even for old hag, she is still hot. She really is, she holds herself together real well.
Come on, man. I would not use that term for her. Come on, dude. She's good. She's good to go.
She's in her 70s, man.
I know she is.
She holds herself really well for a 70-year-old plus lady. Really, really. If I was 70, man, I'd be all over Elvira. I'll tell you that much.
You should check out that interview I did with her. It's pretty. I don't like doing the celebrity interviews, but that one I actually really enjoyed. We had a good time.
She does seem like a cool person too.
Oh, she's really cool. And we were talking about her cardboard standee that was in all the grocery stores when I was a kid and stuff, you know, and how many of those Coolers Light standees got stolen and stuff like that. We were talking about how she can, and we talked about her tassels that she'd wear on her breasts and how she learned how to spin them and stuff like that. I mean, it was a good conversation, dude.
She was a Vegas showgirl.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. So she was open to pretty much anything and stuff, and I was surprised. I was really happy. I wasn't going to do the interview, but then the guys from Dynamite kind of talked me into doing it and stuff because they were doing the book for.
Oh, I would have done that in a heartbeat. I was obsessed with her as a kid. Oh my god, she was the 80s. Oh my god, 80s, 90s. It was all about Elvira for me.
Yeah, so I'm hoping I get another chance to meet her and see her in person and everything. And hey, look, your buddies are back.
Yeah, I told you. Well, it's because we started talking about Elvira.
Have you guys ever been to Terrificon? You know,
I have not. I have not.
Yeah, I went last year. I'll be going back next year because I thought it was great. Got to meet a lot of people there.
I'm gonna. That's what Mohegan Sun over in Connecticut.
Yeah.
I was invited to go there. I wanted to, but I just didn't have time.
I'm gonna make an effort to go there next year. I wanted to go this year. I had a situation. I had to, I could have. It was my weekend with the kids, so I was not gonna split that up just to a Terrificon. But
yeah, it was great. I mean, it's
Terrific. No, I was actually great during Terrificon.
It's all it's all about the comics, right? There wasn't much in terms of like cosplay or anything like that. And well, for me, it was mainly just about getting to meet people, that I know from YouTube and Instagram and stuff, right? I got to meet DJ Links finally, the Pressable Defects guys, because they all go, every year. And
they had a good lineup there too, as far as
artists and
a lot
stuff.
A lot of legends, which I like. Guys have been in business longer than anyone.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you about that Blue Hellion. She might not be as cool as the rest of us on the panel.
No, she's cooler.
But she was a hell of a lot hotter than any one of us. So I will say that much. Good night, Journal. I'm telling you, I might be jokingly saying like old hag and stuff like that, but she is freaking gorgeous. She's gorgeous for that age.
I told her, I said, you're not. I go. You helped me get through puberty, and she's like, you're not the only one. She's really cool.
Well, she is. She embraces that.
Oh yeah, she totally.
It's not like she shies away from it and says, the thing. Oh, that
it was her original idea. That was her original idea to come up with that character. So.
Well, I saw a couple of documentaries that they made about her. That's the wonderful thing about YouTube. There's always somebody making a documentary about something. Not how accurate or not accurate it is, I'm not sure. But they did go through a whole history of being the showgirl first, and Elvis pushing her into going into Hollywood, and all the little Easter eggs that she threw into her show and into the movie and all that stuff. But I discovered her when she was doing those late night features with those monster shows. I used to watch them all the time at Channel 9 and even Channel 7 sometimes. Late at night, she'd be going on. And I didn't even care what movie they were going to show. I just wanted to see her making the introductions.
Yeah, her and Joe Bob Briggs. Remember that guy? He used to do the late night horror shows or on like the weekends and stuff like that.
Was that the guy that tried to be Vincent Price, but he wasn't?
No. This guy, he was he acted like a cowboy sometimes. And his name was Joe Bob Briggs. He still does stuff every now and then. But he was kind of like the Elvira, where he'd host these movies that would come on late night, Saturday night, and when the commercial break would come on, he'd come on and, okay, let's get back to the movie and all that stuff. And I don't know, it was a lot of fun. But those two kind of did the same thing.
I don't remember him I don't remember him at all, to be quite honest with you. But then again, he didn't look like Elvira. So
yeah, no, he did not.
No, you don't forget Elvira when you see her.
No,
you definitely don't. And I remember sometime it had to be in the 90s or something. She was in New York and she was doing some kind of promotion, and I saw her from a freaking distance, and I could tell from her freaking hair that it was her.
Oh yeah.
And as I got closer within the crowd, I'm like, holy shit, Elvira's saying I can't. I'm like about 20 feet from arms, like petting that fluffy hair, and I couldn't even get close enough to her. I was like, I need to meet this woman one day.
Yeah.
But I will one day. But I was really I didn't think she was going to sell out. I underestimated her popularity these days. There's a lot of people that are still really into her, like really into her, and she does not have a cheap picture.
Oh really?
Yeah, it costs $90 to get a picture with her, which I don't think that's cheap for somebody that hasn't been in the spotlight for a good 3 decades.
Well, I wouldn't pay for it.
Right? She kind of faded out in the early 90s.
Well, she still does stuff. I mean, she still got shows. She
definitely does. But I'm talking about as far as her, everybody knew her at that point.
Sure. Yeah, it's just there's a generation gap between people I would know her or not know her. So.
So
Yeah, because it would have been early '90s. Probably would have been the last time I remember even seeing her on TV. So
she was still doing the Coors commercials, like in the mid '90s. She was still doing those, and she was doing some Halloween promotions and stuff. I think I remember her doing M&M commercials too at one point.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. But she wasn't, at the peak of her stardom. Let alone fast forward to 2022, I'm like, there's no way she's gonna sell out. Little did I know, she not only was sold out, people were like freaking nuts. There were people dressed as her, men and women. Apparently, there's a lot of freaking transvestites that love her.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I was like, what the hell's going on over here?
Yeah, I mean, I missed her totally. I felt like an idiot too because I would have loved to actually, met her in person and stuff. Because we were promoting her Kickstarter campaign. That's why she came on the show. It was like 2 days left. We actually raised quite a bit of money for her book, like about $10,000 in about 24 hours. As far as
I'm gonna have to look back to that video and check it out. I'll be honest with you. I don't catch all of your videos. Yeah. Why? Because
why would you?
I work, and most of them come out during the day. And by the time I get out,
they can't all be winners.
And by the time I get out, I get blasted with a bunch of little ding ding dings from everybody. So I'm playing catch up with everybody. But I catch whatever I catch. But I definitely want to go back and rewind that one and check it out because it's definitely of interest to me.
Yeah, my watch later list has got to have at least 500 videos on it at this point.
Oh my god, you have no idea. Like I will never catch up with all the videos that I have on my watch later.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's good for your algorithm though, of people like on the queue to watch your stuff. Not good for me because I'm getting information overload at this point. But it is what it is. But there are a lot of interesting people at the con.
I got to meet a lot of people I've been friends with but never met, and like I got to meet Shannon Mayer, which I've never met him in person. We've been friends for a long time, and I've always loved his artwork that he does. So I finally got to meet him and his partner and stuff, and so that was nice. I got to I got to see Dan Jurgens again, and I hadn't seen him for a couple of years, and he did a cover for me for an exclusive for Red Sonja, and so we got to talk about that, and he signed it for me and everything, and he's the first one to put me on the cover and stuff, so that was kind of cool.
Very
cool. I was trying to say hello to Donnie Cates, but he was never in his booth, and I found him, and I don't know if he walked by his booth, but he was never there. Okay, and no. I've hung out with Donnie Cates quite a bit, and I'm sitting there and I'm talking to his wife Megan because we've known each other for a while, and all of a sudden he comes out of nowhere and jumps over to the table. I'm like, oh hey, what's up, Donnie? He goes, hey, how you doing, Bueller? I'm like, I'm good. And then Donnie goes, I can't take this shit, and he goes underneath the table and he takes a nap underneath the table at his booth. So
was he trying to pull a Peach Momoko, or was he that legitimately tired?
Apparently he does that quite a bit. So if you ever go to his booth, just knock on the table and see if he's down there because he might be sleeping on the floor.
Oh wow, I didn't even think of that. You know what? I'll do that next time, and maybe I'll cut
the light. I thought it was pretty funny. I was like, oh okay.
I'll cut the light next time if that's the case.
Yeah,
because I said to myself, I'm not waiting online.
Yeah.
I refuse. If it's more than 3-4 people deep, I'm not waiting. I'm done. I'm done. Like all the people are waiting for the exclusive lines. All the people are waiting for the signature. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. First of all, I'm paying, especially for the premier artists. You're paying through the nose to have them signed. So I might as well just pay a couple more bucks and get it already signed, encapsulated, and that's it.
I'm a well-known influencer, so I just cut to the front.
You son of a!
You're ruining this hobby. You're ruining this hobby.
That's what we do. We just cut to the front, right? That's what we do.
You just ruined everything for us, man.
Sorry.
You just destroyed everything. You know what?
I honestly don't. I don't care for signatures enough to wait in line. Like it depends on the creator, but for the most part, I don't. Yeah, I don't bother.
See, here's the thing: if they were doing the signatures for free, I understand waiting for a line for days. Because they're doing you a favor, they're doing something nice for the fans, whatever. You could sit there for 10 hours if they're doing it for free, no problem. But most of the time, you're paying. Like for Jim Lee, you weren't getting any free signatures. You weren't getting like a special deal for his signatures. You were paying different tier packages. So I'm gonna pay gold packages, silver packages, whatever packages, and I'm gonna sit there and wait on a 2-hour line anyway. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just not. I'd rather go buy one of his signatures already on the book and say I have it. I'm not gonna sit there and pay what? It's gonna cost me a couple bucks more than what it cost me waiting on a line for like more of 3 hours. My time is worth it more than a couple bucks more. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, we definitely need to battle Joe. Absolutely.
The Ralph Macchio, he was in and out for some reason. I don't know what the hell his deal was.
Jim Shooter wasn't there for some reason.
What's that?
I didn't see Jim Shooter there. He was supposed to be there all week.
I did, and he was actually one of the people that if he had a reasonable line, I would have actually had him sign something for me.
Yeah, he had a booth, but he was never there. I don't think he made it. I think he was sick or something. I don't know.
The people that I'm willing to wait a little bit on lines for are the old timers, the ones that are a little bit on the older end. Not that Jim is like an old guy, but he's getting on the like senior part of the artist groups. For them, I think I'd like to get a Roy Thomas signature.
Yeah,
I'd like to get some of these. Jim Starlin is another one. Jim Starlin I didn't see there either, and I went multiple times.
He was supposed to be there, wasn't he?
He was, and I went there multiple times. I didn't see him there.
Jim Starlin was at Terrificon and never had a lineup the whole weekend. There was nobody at his table.
See, that's the kind of guy I would have had signed for me.
He's a really good dude. He's a really good dude.
I appreciate these guys. You know what? They were the ones that got me through my childhood reading and enjoying this hobby. And I don't know if they'll be here tomorrow. So I don't want to wait till tomorrow for these people. So I'll wait on the line for them to have something from them. You know what I'm saying? You know, I have one regret one regret. I'll tell you my only encounter with Stan Lee. I was the last con I went to prior to this past NYCC was back in the 90s. Again, in New York. What year it was, I can't tell you definitively. Was it 94, 95, 96? It was one of these years. That was the last year I went there. Now, Stanley was there signing at the Javits Center the way he normally would, and he was signing for $5 a signature.
Wow.
I was a kid back then. $5, I could buy a couple comics with that money at that point. I was like, I'm not going to wait on a signature. So I passed on to have him sign anything. And he had long lines back then. He had like 3-4 lines even back then.
Yeah.
I see him later on at the con walking around, and they were handing us out these like little Comic-Con exclusive cards with Spider-Man on the front, and on the back it had a little place where you could sign an autograph or whatever. I guess like Spidey or whatever. I see him. I'm like, Stan, I get to stay on the line. Is there any way you can sign this card for me? I'm like, all right, he's not going to be like a prick about it. Just sign that little card for me, whatever the case is. It was before everybody started paying premiums for the signatures because everybody was paying. He was signing anything back then. It's like, no problem. What does the freaking guy do? He writes Spidey on the back. He signed Spidey on the back. He's like, there you go, true believer. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's what you get.
Stanley's got a sense of humor, huh?
I never got a chance to meet him. I saw him from like about 20 feet away at a con, just massive line and stuff. He walked out from behind the curtain, said hello to everybody, and sat down. And I never got a chance to get anything signed or meet him or nothing like that. But pretty much all the other ones I've wanted to meet and talk to, I've had a chance to do so. So it's turned out pretty well for me.
That was the only encounter I had with him that, and I regret not actually going and sitting on the line to get a full signature, because he's the type of person. The type of artist, writer, whatever you want to call a celebrity in this hobby that comes once in a generation.
Yeah.
Same way I would love to see Jack Kirby in person or Stan Lee. I just mentioned Roy Thomas. I think he's like from that next generation. Jim Shooter from the next generation. And there's going to be a day where you're going to look at Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane from that next tier generation after in the same light. So I regret it. It is what it is. Now I'm in a hunt to find an actual comic book that was signed by Stan Lee, that he actually wrote. I want it to be a book that he actually wrote inside, because the guy freaking signed anything. You give him a Batman book, he'd sign it. I want something he actually wrote, and I want it encapsulated with a CGC signature verification that it's true signature with his little face on it.
Sure.
That's one of the hunts that I'm doing right now as far as what I want to get. I don't care what the comic. It could be the shittiest comic he ever written, and it could be the lowest grade. As long as I could see his signature on there, it's something he written, and it has that little Stan Lee face, I'm happy. So I'll go get it. But regrets. So old timers are definitely on my list of people that I'd like to be able to hit, and I recommend that to anybody. If you truly appreciate the hobby and people that are in it, and value signatures and memorabilia like that, go hunt for the old timers.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how long they'll be around for. Look, we just lost George Perez last year.
Neil Adams.
What's that?
Neil Adams.
Neil Adams.
Neil Adams. Yeah.
That was one that kind of hit for me, because I got a chance to meet Neil Adams and have him on the show, and I interviewed him and stuff. And we actually hit it off pretty well. And then because of everything he did, for the comic book industry, a lot of people don't know what he did, but he really stood up for people's rights and for people to get compensation for their work and everything and all that stuff. And for the conversation that him and I had a couple times, it was just great. And so I really, after he passed away, I kind of felt I'm glad I had that moment with him. And and it's on video, so I can always go back to it and kind of remember that conversation I had with that guy. And stuff.
And those interviews are priceless. When you have people like that you speak to, it's amazing. I mean, I don't think people realize how many artists that followed him truly were influenced directly.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You look at the art. You look at the art of people that followed him.
Yep.
You could easily start putting the dots together and say this was a Neil Adams guy, and they were You could even take elements of what George Perez did, and actually take a lot of the Neil Adams stuff out of it. People can't really correlate that well, but if you start looking at the early stuff before they kind of develop their own characters and their own style, they were all following that pattern. He's such a clean, sharp pattern. He had that grittiness, but it was also like really, really. He was amazing. He's a shame. And he wasn't that old either. How old was Neil Adams when he died?
He was looking pretty rough there last year.
He was looking rough, but I think health was actually playing a huge role with him.
Yeah, I don't know how old he was. I think he was in
like 90-year-old guys.
Yeah.
No,
but he was not looking too good the last year or so. I mean, he was still hawking his stuff on there on YouTube or whatnot. Because he had a comic shop called the Krusty Bucket, and I think it's his family owns this comic shop, and they would do a show every week, and he'd be selling original art on the show. It was on Facebook Live or whatever it was, but he would be on there every week selling stuff and doing prints and everything for I don't know how long, just for as long as I can remember, for the last 2 years.
Isn't it sad? Like you have a guy of that stature that they has to sit there and sell art at the end of his career at those ages.
I did kind of look at that a little bit, like, man, I would hope that this guy wouldn't have to work this hard this late life, unless he really enjoys it, unless that's his passion still is there. But just your work ethic has to decline a little bit as you get in your upper years, or but it just seemed like it was always something. They were always selling things, so it's like you wonder what's going on behind the scenes.
I think it was more for necessity than desire to do that for him at that point, because he has done interviews and he's talked about this many times. As far as he didn't make a lot of money in his early career.
No, there's a lot of stuff he never got paid for, and a lot of stuff on the X-Men that he never got paid for, and stuff. A lot of royalties that he was supposed to get, he never got. And he's very bitter about that. He's very bitter. And still, I mean, for you to be talking about something you created in the early '70s, and now we're in 2020, it's still on his mind. 50 years later, it left the mark. He's still upset about it. Most people let that stuff go eventually, but when you get an unsolicited response, and that's what he's talking about, it means that he thinks about that quite a bit.
You become bitter. You do not like that. It's just what it is. It's sad. It really is sad. And I'll say something. A lot of people don't like Jim Shooter for all different political reasons, whatever the case is. But I will say something. If you know your comic history, and especially if you're an artist and a writer, if it wasn't for Jim Shooter, people wouldn't be getting royalties these days on their comics.
Jim Shooter's one of my favorite guys in the industry. I love him. Me and him have talked multiple times for hours. And this is a guy who got started literally writing comic books in New York City when he was 14 years old. He was writing Superboy at 14 years old, living in New York City. And DC didn't even know how old he was. They're like, how old are you? He's like 14. They're like, let me talk to your mother. After he's already been writing stories for DC, they didn't even ask him how old he was. So for a guy to literally devote his whole life, 90% of his life, to this industry, my hat's off to the guy. It's not everything's going to be a winning mark, but he definitely left his mark. And if you ever get a chance to talk to him, he's not an idiot. The guy's extremely intelligent, and I've loved our conversations that we've had together. And I look forward to. That's why I was looking for him in New York, because I was hoping we could hang out, go get dinner together or something like that. And he just
I remember talking to him back in the 90s.
Yeah,
I think one of the last Comic Cons I had gone, and he had started up a company called Defiant. Was it
Valiant?
No, After Valiant.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Defiant.
Okay.
And they were launching this book called Plasm or World of Plasma or whatever the case. And you could tell from how excited he was, how into it, what he was talking about. He was all into the whole journey of creating the comic and everything like that. This guy built 3 back-to-back companies. People don't realize that. After he came from remodeling and making Marvel extremely profitable during the 70s and 80s, he went into Valiant, which was, what the hell was Valiant? It was a nothing burger company that he ended up bringing all these IPs into and creating a new universe. He went into Defiant, which was Deviant. Was it Defiant or Deviant?
I think it was Defiant.
It was Defiant, right?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, Defiant. He created that, and if the company didn't go bust, people don't realize that they got bust because of a law. They went bust because of a lawsuit, and that they actually won, but they ran out of money before the lawsuit was over. If it wasn't for that, he was going to have another viable company. And then he made another company after that. That again, they basically didn't pay him, and he had to jump out of the airplane on that one before he crashed. But very smart dude, very smart dude. The stories I hear from some people that have had like true business interaction with him, he's a little bit on the prickish side. But that's okay.
He's not afraid to hold back.
But that's okay. Yeah. If you know what you're talking about, and you have the badges, I guess, to show off of what you did.
Yeah.
What if you're nothing? You're nobody, and you have no name whatsoever. Taper yourself down a little bit and listen to this guy and see what you can do.
Yeah, he might know a thing or two, right?
You can learn
just a thing or two. You had Jack Kirby, which was a monster in the business. Even during the beginning ages of Silver Age in Marvel, he was actually the bigger name out of the two, out of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Sure. Because he had already established his name through Atlas and Timely and through other companies that he was already doing artwork on. He was a big name. And he got compensated well. He wanted to get compensated better, but he at least made a good living back then. You know what I'm saying? He could have got a lot more, and he was worth a lot more, and he should have made a lot more over the company. And Jim Shooter was the one guy that when he took over, he turned around and called him Jack Kirby and say, "Listen, Marvel's been holding back all your original artwork. I want to give it back to you."
Yeah.
And he mended fences with the guy and brought it back to Marvel. So I give Shooter a lot of credit that a lot of people don't. And he actually was like one of the guys that helped Neil Adams succeed with a lot of the stuff that he was trying to move forward with. So
you ever read that newer book called Hey Kids Comics?
Which comics?
It was called Hey Kids Comics. Was the name of the book.
Why does that sound familiar?
It was a book it came out by Image Comics. There's been 2 different volumes. There's going to be a third. It's written by Howard Chaykin and drawn by Howard Chaykin as well. And basically, what it is, it's the Mad Men's version of the comic book industry back in the 70s and 80s is what it is. So all the characters are in this book are actually characters that were like Stan Lee is a character in the book, but not called Stan Lee. But it's like all the stories that went on behind the scenes in the ball pit and all this stuff. And it's called Hey Kids Comics, and it can be a little rough sometimes. I mean, it wasn't just a bunch of sunshine and roses all the time. We'll do it that way.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But it's
I think I have a couple of those in my collection, and I don't believe I ever read them. So now
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to dig them up.
There's 2 volumes. I think they're 5 or 6 issues each, and they're true stories about what went on in the comic book industry back in the day, from Howard Chaykin's perspective. People cheating on each other's wives, people dying. I mean, this is the real stuff. I'm like, did that really happen? He's like, yeah, that happened. You know, I'm like, oh my god. And but it's interesting to read those books and kind of you'll figure out who's who really quick. I mean, you'll figure out which one's Jack Kirby and you'll figure out which one's Neil Adams within the first couple issues. And it's an interesting take on it. So, and I think he told me that a third volume is going to be made, but I don't know for sure. But definitely the first 2. So.
Well, nobody thought I looked like anything in the picture. Everybody pictured me to look like something different. So,
I thought you were a lady.
What exactly do you think I look like, Simon? Do you think I look like a freaking Cyclops? What did you think I look like?
And maybe he thought you'd look a little more like Elvira.
I wish. Elvira's hot. Even if I was a man, I'd be touching myself if I was all her. But it's a different story. But
Elvira likes the ladies. She's off the market for us to do.
Yeah, I know. Doesn't mean I can't
try.
Imagine.
Yeah, there's a lot of people have imagined to that.
No, just because she's unavailable doesn't mean I can't use my imagination, and that's it. Why, thank you, Glitter. Thank you. That's what a nice compliment. Like an older version of your logo.
Yeah, that's how I imagined you as well.
Like an older version of my logo. So you guys all thought I had a blue turquoise head?
Yeah.
With a big Joker smile, huh?
Kind of like a Smurf.
Well, I am wearing blue, so.
Yeah, like an Italian Smurf or something like that.
No. I might have to edit this video and cut myself out of the whole thing, but
that's the whole video was. Just take it down. Save the
it's easy for me to take that block out and just cover it.
All right.
Very, very easy.
I guess you can do that.
We'll see.
Oh, let me do it real quick. Screenshot. Okay, I'll never not know.
Here's your chance. No, I've showed my face before. I just never showed it for this long of a time period.
Yeah.
No, but we got into some topics that I wanted. If anybody ever saw on the replay, to take it a little more seriously, what we're talking about. That we're just bullshitting, and people can understand that. We're talking about stuff that's not just goofy Elvira stuff.
Can I share something on the screen real quick?
You can share anything you desire.
All right, let's see if I can do this.
Now, if it's gonna give me a copyright strike,
you're up for
okay
it.
Too, I guess.
You're up for it.
Let's see here. Put you in the platform. There we go.
Oh,
that's my Ninja Funk exclusive that got delayed.
Oh wow.
So I was supposed to have them last week.
Who did this?
I don't know. it's the name is in the corner down there. It's something. God, I was asked this the other day. It's I can't remember. I feel bad.
Does it say Alex something?
I don't know. But yeah, that's my exclusive. That was my
I like it.
My idea to do an homage to Action Comics #1 with the bus.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Did you have any of those floating around at the con?
No, I haven't seen this in real life yet. I didn't know what was going on until about a week ago. And I said, "Hey, is this book still coming out?" They're like, "Yeah." And I go, "Is it coming?" They go, "Well, it's to the printer. We should be able to ship out pretty soon." And then hopefully it's on its way. So I've never even held them. So
I like that. How are people going to be able to get it from you?
I'm just going to put them on the Whatnot Buy It Nows.
And what is going to be the cost on the issues?
I'm just going to put them at $20, but you get a free copy of my other exclusive.
So buy one free, basically.
Yeah, because I have a bunch of the other ones I was just giving away left over, and so I'm just going to take whatever I have left on those, and then just pair them up with these. That way, when you buy this one, you get the other one for free. So,
well, put me down for one right off the bat. Can you do that? Can I use my influencer ability to save one before you put them on the buy it now they sell out?
I don't think there's. I think I got like 300 of them. I think they'll last for a while.
well, you don't give yourself a lot of credit because you never know.
There's a lot of
You might sell off right off the bat. I'd like to, when you do get them, send me an IG and I'll get it right away. Or tell me when to post on the Whatnot. I'll buy it right away on Whatnot.
I'll put one aside for you.
You know, because I like these. I don't know anything about Ninja Fuck. To be honest with you, I don't give a shit about Ninja Fuck. That doesn't make any. I like the fact that it's a action comic homage, and I collect those.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate those. I collect those. I have a ton of them. And it's one of your exclusive. I like to have one. So
And I'm on the cover there too. I'm there in the corner running away.
holy shit! I thought that was an old lady at the beginning. That is you.
Yeah, it's me. A little
Well,
bit
I'm
late.
looking closer.
But yeah, it lines up with the 30-year anniversary of the death of Superman as well. So it's kind of.
It's a great book. Yeah. What is Ninja Funk about? Have you read the book, or do you know? I have any idea what it's all about? How's it going?
I've seen it before. I saw it actually before it was written, so I saw all the artwork and stuff like that. Because I talked to the writer and stuff, and he kind of explained it to me a little. This was like 2 years ago when he was talking about it. But this is before Whatnot ever came into the scene, and he said, "Oh, what artist should I get?" And I was telling him some people I liked and everything, but I haven't actually read the story yet. So I'm looking forward to getting a copy and reading it. So, but they've got a few of them. It's something to do with music, and I really don't know. I don't want to say anything not to be true. So
Honestly, I saw a bunch of them pop up at the con. There were a few people that had their own exclusives at that time for Ninja Funk, #1 at the time. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Ninja Funk. I don't want it. I don't know it. I don't care. But it's the Whatnot exclusive. I'm like, okay.
And so Whatnot paid for that for me. I didn't have to pay for any of it. So my hat's off to thank you Whatnot for literally flipping the cost for that whole book. Not one cent came out of my pocket for that book, and they've said that I can keep all the profits for myself and stuff. So my hat's thank you
influencer.
What's that?
You influencer, see?
Yeah, a horrible person I am. Well, that's why the other one I did, I gave away for free. That's the whole reason I gave away for free, because I didn't have to pay for it. I was like, they're like, how much are you gonna sell this for? I go, I'm not. I go, if I'm not paying for it out of pocket, I'm just gonna give it away. The company got paid, Black Box got paid, and stuff. The artist got paid, everybody got paid. The only person who didn't get paid was me, and I don't care. I don't need any money, for this. I'd rather just give it away to the people I run into as I'm traveling throughout the United States. And so that's why I use that one for.
And you're still only selling it for $20. You should sell it for $200.
No, $20 is the proven price point, I guess. And then I want to, the thing is, I want to sell them pretty quickly because there's 300 copies, and I don't have a lot of room on the bus. Okay, so literally, if I have 300 copies, that means I have to have 300 Gemini mailers here on the bus as well. I have to have 300 supply of tape to tape everything, and printer and all that stuff. So I want to get them out quick. So I'm like, okay, $20. We'll give away the other book with it for free. I can get them out of there as fast as I can, because I don't want to be hauling them around the United States. This little area, what you see here, it's not the easiest thing to do.
No, it makes sense whatsoever. I mean, what are you going to hold on to it and hoard it forever? You want to move it.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
And that's why I was just giving them away. I was like, oh, here you go, take them. I just wanted to get them out.
Are you sentimental with your own variants? So where, when you make these exclusives, do you keep 10, 20 of them for yourself forever, or?
Not really.
It's funny. I have a few people. They say no.
I have copies of my variants, but one copy. And it's like my copy of my first variant I did was like Knock 'em Dead. I have one copy of that. It's autographed by the artist and it's autographed by the writer. And it's thank you, Bueller, for helping us promote this book. And it's graded and everything. That's my only copy of that book.
So you don't do what they used to do back in the days by having file copies for yourself and.
Yeah. But like Dynamite, I did that book with Dynamite, the Red Sonia book. It had me on the cover of the book. And there's 3 different versions of the book. There's a virgin, there's a trade dress, and a black and white. And I only got 9 copies total. So 3 copies of each was my comps. So I got 9, literally just 9 books to give out to my family and myself. So 3 trade dress, 3 virgin, and 3 black and white. That's all I got. And so I kept 1 for myself and gave the other 8 books out to friends of it, my kids, my mom, my dad, and stuff like that. So it's not like I had a lot to keep and hoard.
Well, how big of a run was on that? I remember that.
That one was a GoFundMe or Indiegogo campaign. So they only printed how many were sold. So it wasn't like a run. It was just how many were ever. And I don't know what the batch total was, but it wasn't like this one where they just print 300 and I sell them. These are already pre-sold before they were on there because people bought them on the Indiegogo campaign and stuff.
How was your experience with Indiegogo? Were you?
I hated it. It's horrible. I'll never do it again. It's a 30-day campaign, and then another 2 or 3 months waiting for the book to get done and shipped out and all that stuff. And it's just for all the time and effort you put into it, very little return. And to where I can do it this way and get 300 books in my hand, sell them over a weekend, and I'm done with it within a week, and make more money doing that myself than going through this whole 30-day campaign, promoting it every week, and go to the campaign. I hated it.
It's draining. It's exhausting. It's nerve-wracking. Yeah. If you don't hit your goals.
I want to talk about it for a week max and be good, and you're done. Not for 30 straight days. You're pushing this campaign, and you're looking at it every day, and is it doing well? I hated it. I told him, I said, I'm never doing this again. I go, if I want to do an exclusive, I'll just buy them, make them myself, and then I'll just sell them myself, and they'll be gone. Really
You
quickly.
feel like that about crowdfunding in general, right?
Well, other people see it differently. I mean, some people crowdfund to make something happen, because if they get enough funding, they can make it happen. This was already guaranteed to happen no matter what. It was already in the books. It didn't matter how much money we sold on Indiegogo. It was already guaranteed to happen. So there's different kinds. Some have to meet a goal. If they don't meet the goal, it doesn't make it. They don't produce it, and that would be even harder to handle if you didn't make a goal. Here your goal is $20,000, you get 18,000. That sucks, man. Because all that money goes back to the people who donated and stuff, and you're $2,000 away from meeting your goal to making your creation come true. This one was already guaranteed, so it didn't matter. So it was just like, you're just watching it. It was the goal. The initial goal was $500. We hit that within the first 10 minutes and stuff. It was not a problem. But I would just rather handle it myself in house, do it real quick. Advertise it a week during the show. Hey, my exclusive's ready. Order it right now. I'll mail it to you the same day. No waiting for 3 or 4 months for it to be printed or whatnot. We've already had all that done. Paid for it up front, and you're good to go. So that's the way I do it for now. But luckily, Whatnot did all that for me now, so I don't even have to do that. So they just like, here, take these. I don't have any other ones.
I'm really curious to see how this Whatnot experiment works as far as the publishing is concerned.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I'm curious. Like you said, I'm curious as well. I don't know if it's a good idea, to be honest. I look at it this way: a good book is a good book, no matter who puts it out. If it's a good book, I want it. If it's not a good book, I could care less. When I say a good book, I read books. I enjoy reading. I enjoy a good book. I don't care who puts it out, as long as it's a good book. So if they make good books, I'm all for it. But if they just turn out to be just mediocre, just no big deal, then it's probably a failed experiment. But I give them props for at least trying.
Well, I'm going to tell you out of selfish, personal reasons why I want them to. One, I want to see another competitor thrive. I really believe in competition. I like competition. I like to see multiple publishers out there competing and keeping everybody on their toes to put out good quality product.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But from a personal and a selfish point of view, I don't know if I've ever told you about this. I've talked about this on the channel. I've talked about it with a lot of people. I'm trying to finish up a book that I'm writing. I'm drawing myself. Everything is all going to be on the way, and I'm going to self-publish it. I asked about the Indiegogo because I'm curious about that whole process and everything. Yeah. More than likely, I'm just going to pay the money to somebody to print it out. I'm going to put out X amount of copies. If I have to sit on a stack of books that never sell forever, so be it. I at least did it, and I got it out of my system. Yeah. That's the way I look at it. But from a selfish point of view, I want to see Whatnot succeed with this because I believe that if they do, they will be allowing another platform for artists, for writers, for people that are creators, that are also happening to be sellers on their platform to have a place where something could potentially be published in the future.
Yeah, the more opportunity that they're out there, the more chances you have of getting that opportunity. If there's more channels on the television, there's more chances your show might show up. That's pretty much what it is.
That's the point. So my thoughts are, let's say I do pull off what I'm planning on doing. There's some following. People actually enjoy it. They actually like it. They want to see something following up. And maybe down the line, I could go to Whatnot and say, listen, we got some traction with this first issue. Will you help publish the second issue? And et cetera, and et cetera. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. The same way Image at one point had created a platform for people that are independent and trying to keep their IP and that kind of thing, put a platform out there. It's not a bad thing to have another company doing that. How was your experience working with Dynamite, by the way? I have nothing but good things that I've heard about Nick as far as Dynamite is concerned.
I love Nick. Nick is an awesome dude. I actually just talked to him on the phone just about 2 or 3 days ago. We're actually going to be doing I'm going to be hosting a Dynamite auction on my channel next Friday. We're going to do 2 of them before I leave. And he's going to donate like 25% of the profits to the bus to help me do my travels and stuff like that. But Nick is a really kind guy, and we've talked about it a bit, and obviously we did that exclusive together and stuff like that. And I was besides the process, I just didn't like the process of the Indiegogo thing. Like I said, if I were to do an exclusive with Dynamite going forward, I would just order the books and buy them and sell them myself. It's just easier to do it like that for me on my end.
Under their label, in other words.
Under their label, yeah. I'll tell you this. I had Nick's a kind guy. He's a generous guy. He's sent me money. He goes, hey man, just to help you out with some gas. Here's a couple $100. And like, there's $200 in my PayPal account from Nick from Dynamite Comics. It's like, hey Bueller, keep doing what you're doing, man. Here you go. I just wanted to help you out and stuff. And he's done that a couple times for me. And I didn't ask him for nothing or whatnot. He just wanted to know how he's doing. He just wanted to reach out and help a hand. And he's very well respected in the comic book industry and stuff. And he's got a lot of friends and just a really kind guy. So I mean, I got he reached out to me a couple years ago, and we've been really good friends ever since. And,
that's the genuine feeling I get. I've had little interaction directly with him, but I have some interaction, very little interaction. Pleasant guy, to deal with. But anybody that I've spoken, he's one of the few people from one of these publishers or anybody of statue that I've spoken to people about that I haven't heard anything negative about.
Yeah, he takes care of people,
and that's a really nice thing.
Yeah. So I told him before. I said, hey, I go, I go, if I host these auctions, because I did a few of them last year before I left. And I said, I can't. They got to be good deals. I don't want any price gouging. I don't want anything like that. Like, you got to start these auctions low, like $1 and stuff like that. And he's like, okay, we can do that. I go, as long as you do that, then I'm good. You can come on here and I'll introduce my audience to you and we'll see how it goes. And I told my audience, I said, hey, if you guys like this, I'll keep doing it. If you guys don't like it, then I'll stop. It was up to them. And 99% of the people commented they really enjoyed it. They said they had a good time with the auctions. They got some really cool stuff for actually really inexpensive prices when I look back and stuff. And so I told Nick, I go, yeah, if you want to do a couple more, let's do it, because it does help me out a little bit. It's just a little bit of my time, and people get a chance to get some interesting stuff because they have a lot of remarks that they sell, a lot of original art. That's kind of cool. I like that stuff.
I like the direction they're going to. They're going for a little bit of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Pulling in a little of that sex, a little bit of that horror, a little bit of that pulpy stuff, a little bit of the movie IP stuff that they have. I like it. I like it a lot, and I'm just hoping that they develop some more original stuff, because I hate to see them, if they start losing these IPs, to start, from dwindling, because Vaporella and Red Sonja are some of the biggest sellers out there, and they don't own those IPs. So I want to see.
They do own one of them.
They must own Vampirella, right?
They do. I think they actually. I think that they do own both of those, and the reason I tell you that is because when we were doing an exclusive, and they said, hey, what would you like to do? You want to do Red Sonja or Vampirella because we own those? And I go, I'm not really.
I thought they were leasing the rights to them, not necessarily own them.
Yeah, I think they got flat out. And I go, I'm not really a big fan of either. And I told this to Nick. I said, I'm not really a big fan of either, but I really like your Mars Attacks books and stuff like that. He goes, well, we license that. We don't own that one, so it costs us a little bit more to make. But he's like, yeah, we could probably do that and stuff. So we did the Red Sonja versus Mars Attacks. But yeah, he mentioned that he owned at least Red Sonja. I know that. So,
I'm a big fan of.
They straight out own Red Sonja. That's amazing. I didn't realize that they actually own it. I thought they were leasing the IP. That's a very big deal. Very big deal, because I didn't think that the Conan people, because the people that own Conan, that family, I thought still owned Red Sonja as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's and then they have not sold. They wouldn't sell to Marvel to actually grab Red Sonja from them. I think that's a very big plus. That's huge, very huge.
Well, I like some of their new license. Like they got Gargoyles coming out from they licensed that from Disney.
That's gonna be interesting.
They licensed the Garbage Pail Kids, which I thought was pretty cool. That's nostalgia or something.
That's a real fun. That's a real fun thing. I actually started picking up those Garbage Pail Kids. The nostalgia actually.
I would like an exclusive Garbage Pail Kid cover.
What I would love to see. I believe a while back, that would be a great exclusive, by the way. What I saw, I'm pretty sure they had done a Highlander series a little while back. I would love to see an ongoing Highlander series, like a legitimate Highlander series. I think that storyline is so underutilized. It is such a great IP to be able to develop a whole universe and story around.
Yeah.
And for some reason or another, ever since that first initial Highlander, they've tried again. And unless you factor in the TV series that they did, which had some success, they were never able to really go on that mythos and build a world that could be really one of those dynamite worlds that, if I had the money to be able to straight out buy the rights to Highlander, that'd be the more franchise that I'd be able to buy, because one, it's probably one of the more affordable ones compared to the monster ones that are out there, and two, you could do so much. You could do so much with that name, and it is a recognizable name.
Yeah.
So if you're watching, or Dynamite people you're watching, buy the rights for Highlander, do something with it, and if you do the right thing, I'm sure that you're going to have people flocking to you, and then you'll be able to make your own, cinematic universe too. Again, from the beginning. Conan and got split up from an IP standpoint. Not sure how it happened several years ago. I didn't realize that happened. I thought he just auctioned off the properties, and it just so happened that Marvel got Conan and that Dynamite had gotten Red Sonja at that time. So
I remember my percentage was lower because of that, because I put the Mars Attacks in there and they had to license it, and they didn't have to license Red Sonja. So if I would have just left the Red Sonja, I would have made more money on that book. But I wasn't a fan.
That's what I thought. Robert Howard State was the one that owns it, but I could be wrong. You know what? Mars Attacks is a great universe to work with as well.
Yeah,
really good. Like, you could do endless stories with that. That is a fun. Like, I remember as a kid picking up the stupid Mars Attacks cards and cherishing them more than anything else. The Mars Attacks cards, I was a weird kid. I like Mars Attacks cards. I like Wacky Packs. You remember those things called Wacky Packs?
Oh yeah,
I love those. Garbage Pail Kids, obviously, everybody knew about, but I liked all that obscure. There was even a little series called Dinosaur Attacks at one point. I got a kick out of that too, where they just had dinosaurs killing and eating people. But
That
I'd
red,
like to see you do a exclusive for Garbage Pail Kids. That'd be great.
that red Sony cover that we did was actually an homage to a classic X-Men cover. And a lot of people didn't realize that. They didn't really talk about it too much. That's one of my favorite X-Men covers.
What I especially love about Garbage Pail Kids, you know who created them, right?
No.
Art Spiegelman.
Why should that ring a bell?
Mouse.
Faust?
Art Spiegelman. Mouse. He did Mouse, the comic, and Contract with God. Very different. I mean, Mouse. I don't know if you ever read Mouse.
Wait, he made Garbage Pail Kids?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is very interesting.
From Mouse, right? Which is a heavy comic, right? About the Holocaust. And yeah, then he went on to do the Garbage Pail Kids.
See, I would have been more geared for you to tell me Robert Crumb or somebody like did
You would think, right?
Yeah, I would think somebody like that did him. That's interesting. That's really, really interesting that they had a character like that, because they were like, by the way, Bueller, if you do a Garbage Pail Kid, it's got to be Nasty Nick. Nasty Nick. That's the character you got to use.
Yeah.
I was going to do Traveling Travis was the one that I always liked. That's my real name, by the way, is Travis.
Yeah, well, a little bit of bias. You know, I'm sure that Drax going to want Adrian to be in that name, but for me, it's Nasty Nick. It has to be Nasty Nick. You know, that was the character that I collected. I had a stack of them when I was a kid. I was obsessed with getting all the Nasty Nicks and sticking them everywhere. Because if you haven't realized, my name is Nick. So my mom threw out all my freaking Garbage Pail Kids, but I had like a good stack like this of just Nasty Nicks, and that's probably one of the highest priced Garbage Pail Kids you could get now.
I think the Traveling Travis one was the kid that was like flat on the ground with like a tire mark all through his back, kind of squished on the ground. Looks like a tire went over him.
It like halfway through, right?
Yeah.
Like he's bent in the middle.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I remember that card.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was no Adrian Garbage Pail Kid.
Sorry, Dracula. Sorry.
That's okay. I got all the.
There was an adorable Adrian Adonis, though. If that makes you feel any better, if you know who that is.
I do. Yeah.
There you go.
I dye your hair blonde.
Yeah, I remember Adrian Adonis. Yeah.
Open up a flower shop. I'm sure that went over most of the viewers' heads right now. They have no idea what the hell we're talking about right now. But look it up. Go look at your WWF. Go look at your WWF history, not WWE, WF history, and you'll find out the flower shop and Adrian Adonis before the barber shop opened up, before
Brutus the
thing. Yeah, Adrian.
Yeah,
he was a Portland guy.
Was he? Was he from Portland originally?
Before he got to the big leagues, I guess you'd say.
I remember he was a tag team with Murdoch, right? Wasn't he a tag team before he became Adrian? Before he became adorable Adrian, he was like a biker dude. He was still Adrian Adonis, but he wore all black, and he was partners with a guy, Murdoch. I think something Murdoch.
Matt Murdoch?
Not Matt Murdoch. That's Daredevil.
Are you sure it's not Matt Murdoch? He was a blind wrestler. Jesus Christ. Or red?
Yeah. He wore red. He had a nice pair of shades that he wore all over the place.
Yeah.
Carried a billy club.
Yeah.
I know. What the fuck?
There was a guy that he partnered with called me Mike Miller in Portland that used to wear like all black and chaps and stuff like that. I remember that, but that was just in the Portland area, and the Mike Miller guy never got out of Portland, I don't think.
What the fuck was his name? He was in a tag team with another big wrestler. And they will both wear all black. They were like bikers.
Huh.
Playboy
Buddy Rose?
It looked like it, but it wasn't.
Because I know him and Buddy Rose did some stuff together. And they both had the very
AWA.
I don't remember. They did stuff.
All right. Yeah. All right. I'm not going to drive everybody crazy with wrestling nerd history. We already have comic book nerd history.
Dick Murdoch. That's a
Dick
hell of a name.
Yeah, he's right. Dick Murdoch. That's what it was. Adrian Adonis and Dick Murdoch. They were a tag team. I knew it was Murdoch.
My favorite tag team was the Demolition. You remember the Demolition?
Yeah, the Road Warriors.
No, not the Road Warriors.
You mean the imitation
the Road Warriors knockoffs is what they were.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. No, I thought they were around before the Road Warriors, though.
No way.
No. Okay.
No way. Road Warriors were beating the shit out of people left and right in the AWA well before the Demolition even existed.
Yeah, okay. But the Demolition were fairly, 80s, right? Like mid 80s?
Late 80s.
Late 80s, yeah.
That was one of the guys was a Repo Man before he was Demolition.
After Demolition.
Was it after or before?
Yeah, right after Demolition.
Axe and Smash, yeah. I mean, I just like their look, right? They look like.
What was it about their look that you like? Because they were the Road Warriors out of shape. That's basically what they were.
Yeah. They were chubby guys in S&M gear is what they were.
That
did it for you, huh?
That was it, yeah.
They looked a little bit Mad Max style to me because they were kind of out of shape. That's what I kind of liked about him, because they're like, I don't give a shit what I look like. I'm gonna come in with my leather spandex like I'm a dominatrix and I'll kick the crap out of people. That's what I like about them. And they had a great theme song. I'll give them that much.
Mm-hmm.
Their theme song was very memorable and catchy. Would be Punisher and Dracula. Bueller would be Microchip. Okay, we're being cast for Daredevil right now.
Okay, all right.
Punisher killed Microchip, didn't he?
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I love
Why would I be
Daredevil.
the Punisher? What did I do? Well, why do I give you that vibe that I like to kill people for?
I like to make devices to help you kill people.
and Bueller's the evil genius that gives me all the ammunition to kill everybody with. Like,
He's got the Punisher bus.
it's funny because I actually mentioned this to a few people throughout the community, and I don't know if you actually caught a glimpse what I said about this, Adrian, but I've said this multiple times, and I'm really going to start pursuing this and try to push it with everybody. I want to do a community book where we actually start almost like a chain letter kind of a comic where somebody starts off a page.
Yep.
And then because we're in a digital environment, I could, let's say I make page 1, the splash page, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
I could send it to you next, and you can through digital form, and you could actually make page 2.
You're talking writing or drawing?
What's that?
Writing or drawing?
Everything. So each person that is involved is in charge of one page.
One page, yeah.
Okay, and you have to follow the story and continue from that page going on. There's
Yeah.
no story.
Yeah.
We're making it up as it's going.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really awesome and fun project.
Absolutely.
I think the community would get into it.
Mhm.
And at the same time, if it actually doesn't end up being a big festering pile of dog shit, and it's actually something that actually is readable and enjoyable, maybe we could actually print it out and everybody could enjoy a weird community comic.
A weird that's the title of a weird community comic.
Right? Wouldn't that be something different, something cool? And
I think that's a great idea.
for
Absolutely.
somebody ranting and
Yeah.
raving that they like the whole community thing, I think that would be really, really cool. You know, sell for cost, whatever it is to print it out. Have fun with it.
A game of telephone with comics. Yeah.
Or we just make it in a digital form and have it for the community to be out there.
Mhm.
No, I think it'll be something cool.
Definitely. I mean, if you get enough people in on it, I'd love to see something like that printed. For
You
sure.
need at least, ideally, you need at least 12 people.
Mhm.
So we could run a 12-page book at the very minimum.
Yeah.
Or if everybody does double duty, they could do 2 pages at a time.
Mhm.
No, it could take forever to do it because everybody works at a different pace.
Yeah. Maybe you'd have to kind of break it up into like 2 or 3 separate things so that you don't have, so you're not waiting a year for it to be done, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to put the panel together and actually put deadlines on people. So as
Yeah.
far as how quickly to get it done and that kind of thing. Have somebody that's probably the strongest out of our community to do the cover. I think that would make more sense,
Mhm.
Or if we really want to get goofy and really get outrageous, make variant.
You got to do variants. Yeah, I think you
with
have
all
to
our
do
weird
variants.
styles,
Yeah.
I think it would be cool. I think it would be something that people would really get into.
Yeah,
What do you
absolutely.
think, Bueller? Would you be behind something like that if something like that move forward?
If I could draw it, yeah.
No, I mean, as far as something that you'd be like, I want to read this.
Yeah, I'd definitely check it out.
Like,
I'd-
would it
I-
interest you as far as something
I
that?
probably wouldn't be able to do anything because I can't really draw worth anything. And I'm to be totally honest, I'm actually writing a book right now.
Well, maybe you could team up with somebody that would be a writer in that portion, and you write for those pages that they do. It's not limited; it's just one person, But like each artist would have to have a set amount of page or pages that they have to do. If they're in the position to be able to write it on their own, great. If not, they could team up with somebody out that's more prone to writing and put it together. And it could be something, I don't know. I think it's a really nice community building project. It'd be fun as long as people's egos don't get in the way.
I would just draw a big picture of a mushroom cloud and say explosion. That would be my page, and then people would have to go from there.
Hey, that could work, right?
But that's
Explosion.
but see, that's the whole.
Explosion. Oh shit! Everything.
But that's the whole fun. It's like almost Mad Libs. Remember Mad Libs when we were kids?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where you had to fill in the words. We're filling in the idea. Somebody puts a puffy atomic cloud in there, like you said. You know what? It's up to the next person to be creative.
Yeah.
What the hell is this cloud all about?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no shortage of talented people, that we all know that I'm sure would be interested. So.
I brought this up in front of Ignacio a couple times. He thinks I'm probably joking. Ignacio would be great to actually add and said, Ozzy, can you actually draw right? Because if you can, I think it's something that would be very positive. Namin, I brought it up to, and he says that he actually can draw really nicely. He'd actually be interested in it. But I think he's very timid as far as getting it going. I think it's going to have to take myself and a couple other people that are really gung-ho about pushing it forward to actually organizing and putting a panel together of people to put something like this together. And for all you freaking YouTube freaks out there that want content and all that stuff, here's your content. As you're drawing your freaking panels and talking it through, you could actually sit and draw it on camera in front of people and tell your creative process to people.
They've done an event like that here in the Portland area, where like a bunch of local artists and creators get together at a bar and they'll write a comic book in 24 hours. And each one of them will be in charge of a page or whatnot and do the artwork and stuff. It's kind of cool. I went to them and kind of watched them do it. These are guys who are in the industry because there's a large population of people who are in the industry in the Portland area and in Oregon and stuff. and so they all kind of hang out and do this type of thing. So it's kind of cool.
I could see something like that. See, I haven't experienced something like that, and I haven't been in that kind of crowd, but I could easily see it turning into something really, really fun. And again, community building. Instead of sitting and basking each other, they talk about influencers and stuff like that. Let's all get together, put something really fun, and influence the freaking community with something that's very creative and fun. How's that? How's that as a novel idea?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Promote something positive instead of something negative. And this coming from probably one of the most negative people in the community.
I remember a couple years ago.
Well, you're no Taylor Winder, but
well, he's obnoxious. There's a difference.
A couple of years ago, we did something with a drawing, and we all drawed on this. It went around to like 40 different YouTubers, and we all did a drawing on this and did a little thing on this poster. It was for somebody. I can't remember exactly who it was for, but it literally went from person to person to person over about a 4-month period. Over 40 of us and stuff like that. And I can't remember who it was for, but I remember having to draw a little picture and write something down or something like that. And we gave it away, and then I had to mail it to the next person on the list, and then they mailed it to the next person on the list. It's kind of fun. That was back when people were being like nice. It was pre-COVID.
And you know what? And it also gives you a sense of accomplishment too when you're done with it. Whether it's good, whether it sucks, whether it's awesome, whatever it is. At the end of the day, you're like, we all got together and made this, this cool thing, this monstrosity, whatever it turns into. It was a project that everybody got into together and created it together. And Norrin, since you're asking these questions as far as what the characters, what if it's sci-fi, superhero, horror, etc., that's something that would have to be discussed once a panel is put together as far as what the theme is, because you would have to use a basic overlying theme, just so it could be somewhat uniform. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to go into from a horror to a romantic novel to we'll try to keep it somewhat uniform. Or maybe we'll go off the walls. I don't know. Depends what characters we get in there. You get Roscoe or somebody like that in there. He'll start putting like what do you do? He drop kick cancer or choke slam cancer with his rooster. I don't know if you saw that when he was drawing for CC3.
Oh, the cock slam.
Oh, cock slam. Yeah. That's what he did. He's got a different style altogether. So you put him in the mix, it could get outrageous. So we could go from a normal type of comic to like a what the comic. So
yeah,
but it'll be cool regardless. Just a thought, just so for everybody to chew on and think about. I'm
definitely in.
I just got to get somebody that's really, really organized to start headlining it, even if it's a person that's not going to be involved with the art or the writing in any way. As long as they're a freaking dictator or a nut with organizing, that's all I need to have somebody involved, just to whip everybody into shape as far as getting on deadlines and stuff like that. And if we can do that, we'll be great. But I think we've been on for a while now, right?
Yeah, it's getting late. We'll push it for you guys.
I think it's that time of the night where we must say adieu, bid everyone adieu. And where's Naman? Yeah,
Naman never reappeared.
Yeah, that was a rough.
Yeah.
His ass probably blew up in the bathroom. He ate some chimichangas or something, and he had to run real fast. But we're gonna have to head out and bid everyone adieu. Yes, Norrin, we will do it. No, I'm not headlining. I'm not an organizer, and I don't want that headache on my head. I'll tell you that much.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh yeah! Okay, can I ask everyone to please stop saying "oh no" in this courtroom? Because the fucking Kool-Aid guy's gonna keep showing up. Thank you.
But the Kool-Aid man always finds a way to interrupt us. But I don't want that. I'm the idea guy. I'll give you the ideas, and somebody else can run with it. You're more than welcome to steal my ideas and run with it. I do not want the headache of having to call up people continuously. Hey, ass. You said you're gonna have this done by last week. What happened? Where's the page? I don't want that. I don't want to be that guy because I'm gonna be like I deal enough with that in work where I have to freaking get on people for not doing their jobs, especially if we're doing something that's supposed to be fun. I don't want to be the guy that's on top of people. So, that's just my thing. Maybe I'll add Dracula in the mix so you can suck everybody's blood. More than that, you're gonna drink their blood if
that's just gonna drain them of their energy and slow them down. You need to get someone who's gonna whip them into shape.
Maybe we'll get Elvira.
Yeah,
there you go.
She could be tempting.
Yeah,
she could get everybody motivated. But we're gonna end the stream, guys, boys and girls. Is there anything anybody wants to promote before we shut down, Bueller? I know that you just quickly had promoted your exclusive. Do you want to say anything about that again, or anything else that's coming out?
Yeah, I don't know when that comes out, but when it does, I'll put it on sale. So whenever I get
on the channel.
Actually, me and Bob are filming a copy video tomorrow morning, so that'll be out on Monday morning at 5:00. So,
very good.
Looking forward to doing that with Bob tomorrow. So,
why do you always put it at 5:00? Why do you put it that early?
Do it for you East Coasters, because I want to be a Monday morning show, and it's 8:00 your time, and that's when people are getting up to get ready for work. That was the whole concept behind it. was to do
Because you know why I asked that? A lot of time I'm driving to work, and what I've been doing lately, because I don't listen to radio anymore.
Yeah.
I'll have my YouTube to the Bluetooth,
Yeah.
and I'll should be listening to your show a lot of times in the morning, driving in.
Yeah,
And
or you guys on the East Coast.
it works out. I was just curious why you did it so early.
I wake up every Monday morning at 4:45, and I get in the chat, and I'm there with you guys every Monday. And then as soon as I'm done, I go back to bed. But yeah, that was the whole reason. I just wanted to have a morning show for the East Coast, and we every episode I've ever done, 152 episodes, they've all been at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Monday morning. So start the week off right. That's the way I looked at it.
Anything else you're doing?
No, that's it.
What about you, Drek?
I got nothing to promote really. I think I'm shooting something tomorrow probably. Got an unboxing video. Got some stuff from C3, so I'll be doing that. Other than that, nothing much planned. Oh, I do have this. I have proof. I have definitive proof that this happened. In case you change your this video, so now we know that this yeah
it exists.
I'll never let you. I'll never admit that that's me.
I love the hand. What do I do with my hand?
Yeah. I could have just done the hands.
It was this big, I promise. That's the caption.
I just need to add the Kool-Aid man. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you for documenting this moment, and I think that's it. I think we're gonna end the show. Everybody in the chat, we appreciate you, but you got to go the hell out of here. I don't know where you're gonna go, but you can't stay here. Until the next time, you keep collecting. I'll keep recollecting. Bueller will be drinking coffee. Dracula will be drinking blood.
And
that's it. That's it. Get out of here. Go home. Do something. We're done. Show's over. Goodbye. 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 I'm out of here. All right.
Worst episode ever.
I'm not mad. I'm not.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.